Hello, and welcome to Beast Fables, a role-playing game show that follows the lives of tiny beasts in a massive world. This episode, we dive into Chapter 13, Lupins around Aspengrace. I'm Brian, and I'll be your narrator for today's game. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm the founder of Dungeons on a Dime, a publishing imprint creating entry-level tabletop role-playing game content. I wrote the system we're playing with, Adventures on a Dime, as well as the new subsystem, Vice and Virtue, which we'll be showing off in just a sec. It's the sub-little story thing that we've been using since the start of the show, but it's now officially got a thing name. Anyway, hello. I am joined today by Atlanta, Fraser, and Ver, three talented illustrators and delightful beasts. We will start with our little introductions from Atlanta.
Hello, I am Atlanta. I am a freelance illustratory, creative-y typey person. I use she/her pronouns, and I am playing Pipistrelle, the bat.
Next up, we have Fraser.
Oh, usually I go last. I was caught off guard there. Hello, I'm Fraser. I go by he/him pronouns, and I am also an illustrator arty person. I am currently doing some freelance work. I work with Brian. We are working on pretty consistently monthly. We do little character minis, which you can buy on Roll20's marketplace. I am playing Lutzen. No, not Grandpa. That's not right. 10 Whiskers. God. I just created like a Frankenstein character. Lutzen,
I feel
Lutzen
like
10 Whiskers.
Lutzen would be the kind of person to forget his own name.
Oh, very on brand. Very on brand. But
and
yeah, that's me.
Last not least, we have got Ver.
Hello, everybody. I am Ver. I use they/them pronouns. I am an illustrator and comic artist. And in the Beast Fables game, I play as Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, a toad knight.
Amazing. We're playing today with the Adventures on a Dime role-playing system designed to tell exciting stories with some very simple rules. You can download all of these rules for free from doad.co.uk and use the fully automated character sheets with our sponsor Roll20, who we love. Roll20 is an easy-to-use virtual tabletop platform. It's basically the Zoom of board games. You can play online for free, roll dice, keep track of your campaigns, and even get digital adventures, artwork, and games on their marketplace. Roll20 is awesome, and we love them forever and ever and ever. And you can see the cool things you can do. For example, I'll get my words right, we have got Balthazar, who I'm going to be nice to you this week.
Oh.
Willpower. And still get a complication. I love it.
Oh my god. At least we're consistent.
When you click on the buttons, it rolls a cool looking die, and then you can see the rules that you need to use for the system. Everything is very simple and fun. And that's why I love Roll20. I also have something cool to show off. We have got here a Beast Fables map. Are you ready for an exciting transition?
Yes.
Oh.
Shazam! There is a fully functional world map that I have made that you can see in the, if you go to the Linktr.ee /DOAD, you can actually go look at a map of the Crossing Loch and Bristley Woods, and you can look at the different locations that you might have heard of. I'm going to be expanding this as we go along. It's got a whole bunch of locations, including Little Blueberry Pond. You've got Bramble Fork, you've got Fallow Fields, all these other places, and you can explore the woods. And there are loads. There's a lot of space that our lovely beasts have not yet explored, which is really cool.
There's a whole world out there for us to wander through. Hooray!
A massive world for tiny beasts.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Also, we have got one more thing to show off.
Ooh.
Vice and Virtue. Vice and Virtue here has got a whole Kickstarter going on.
Which is already funded.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
so
hit
cool.
its goal. I'm completely blown away by how well it's been doing. Tiny thing, whoever is typing, I love you.
Sorry. That's me. I'm so sorry.
Fraser.
You know what?
Vice and Virtue is our little Kickstarter. It's for the storytelling rules that we have for the game. So you pick fortunes as players, and then that helps inform the direction that the story is going in, and it's really cool. You can see how it's played, the rules that we're using. You can even download a full version of the rules yourself as well, and check everything out. It's just really, really cool. And it's we've got some nice entry-level tiers as well, if money's tight, because, you know, COVID, we get it. And for every 10 backers that we get, we give away a community copy. So when the full thing is written, there'll just be a free copy that someone from the community can just have. And that's just to celebrate the support that we're getting. And then for every 100 backers, we're doing a full giveaway of a full physical set of cards and a book. And it's really cool. So anyway, yeah, that's Vice and Virtue. Anyway, why don't we get into what we're really here for, what we love and what we enjoy, some Beastly Fables. So, Atlanta, could you do us a favor and remind us of what happened last session?
I can indeed. So we have set out from Willowmoot at this point, and our little intrepid adventurers are on our way to Bramble Fork, and then from Bramble Fork we are carrying on to the place marked on the map near Loch Treen by the very sad Mikhail, or Chipper.
No, he was Crier. Chipper's the...
Sorry, Crier, not Chipper. I read Chipper in my notes and suddenly I got angry. Damn that squirrel. Anyway, so we set out from Willowmoot. We have sort of wandered along the path. We're walking past the river. It is a lovely hot summer day, which is, you know, quite nice for Lutzen and Pip because they are sort of small beasties with fur, but you know, dear old Balthazar is struggling in the heat. But on the road we meet a little mole who is heading towards Willowmoot, who sort of halloos us and pulls us over and asks us if we can deliver a letter to someone that they know in Bramble Fork. I'm pretty sure it was Bramble Fork and not Aspengrace. Or was it
Bramble Fork?
It was Bramble Fork. Okay.
I found my notes.
Hurrah! So yes, we are. So we're definitely kind of heading en route. We'll probably stop over in Aspengrace, but anyway. So we decided it would be nice to sort of help this mole. And it sort of, we go on, we sort of tell stories and laugh and have a, you know, having a whizzy jolly time for once after what was quite a harrowing experience in Willowmoot and things like that. But as the day goes on, poor Balthazar dries out more and more because he is a toad. So we decided that we should probably take a little break because we're quite close to a river. So, you know, poor Balthy can have like a remoistening bath.
That's what we call it.
Exactly. So we can have like a nice little rest, and everyone can kind of recuperate. We can keep going. So we're kind of having a nice time at the river. Balthazar is being incredibly funny and just kind of walking in and out of the water. He tells us about the mud furies of the toad logs using incredible warriors, and, you know, learning more about toad culture, which is always very interesting. But Pip is sort of hearing like rustling and stuff, and she sees a paw retract into a bush nearby, which she thinks is highly suspect. So she kind of cautions the others to kind of be quiet in case there is something there. And sadly, her instincts in this case were right. There is a polecat hiding behind the grass, which immediately jumps out and goes straight for Lutzen. I don't know why straight for Lutzen, but maybe just because... I think because he is the biggest, he's kind of the easiest to target. And we have this quite manic fight with this polecat on the side of the riverbank, and Balthazar is just generally being awesome and hitting it in the jaw with the hammer, and Pip is jumping onto its back, and, you know, Lutzen is... I can't even remember what Lutzen is doing. I'm so sorry, Fraser. Lutzen is there.
I think it was Lutzen who concocted the idea of throwing a rope and tangling the polecat.
Yeah.
That was it. Okay, so it was Lutzen's idea to then sort of tie up the polecat, kind of like tie it to the ground. So, like, you know, Pip is on its back. Lutzen throws the rope to Pip. She grabs the rope and jumps off. And they try to hold it down, but like we are dealing with a pretty sizable beast, you know, bigger than Lutzen, you know, by some margin. So obviously a much bigger than Pip and Balthazar, and obviously it kind of throws off the rope, and Pip is still on its back and it's sort of bucking and trying to get her off. And I'm pretty sure that Balthazar gets a pretty decent hit on its face, and it kind of decides, like, you know what, this is not worth a quick meal. And buggers off. And we win, hooray! Because it's amazing how even the encounter with something not quite as intimidating as the grass snake that Lutzen and Pip had to fight, is still very much an absolute fight for life type scenario. But one of the biggest and most exciting parts of that fight, at the very least from my perspective, is that Pip had to jump onto the polecat's back, and she jumped from a rock, and she sort of glided down, but she has realized that after several weeks now, it's been 4 or 5 weeks since she injured her wing, she has now regained fully the ability to fly, which is very, very exciting. So we get to look forward, hopefully, if I'm allowed to, we can look forward to some more aerial views of the Bristley Woods from Pip's perspective. And then we decided to carry on to Aspengrace from there, still in one piece. Which is
I would love it if Pipistrelle was like, "Cool, thanks," and just yeet, flied off,
Yeah,
never seen again.
Bye.
Oh
No,
my god.
No, she would not do that. She loves her friends. She loves her friends.
Betrayal.
No, she will not betray us. And that, I think, is where we left off.
Okay. So I'm gonna use my little. Oh, we have a little note of where y'all were. I'm gonna do my shift click.
Very nice.
Everyone has been dragged.
Hooray.
You are a little shaken up, but otherwise in good spirits. What would you like to do?
Probably continue going, right?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, I think just tracking on.
Because we're like, Balthazar is sort of moistened. He has still got the hat as well that I think Pip made for him.
Yeah,
A
but I
while
think
ago.
he just walked out of the river. He didn't he's still just trailing water because his the padding under his armor just absorbs water. So he's gonna be nice and hydrated for a while.
Hooray.
So, walking along the road, two moderately dry, like a bat and a rat, and a very, very wet toad. You are enjoying the less intense afternoon sun as you walk along to Aspengrace. The path itself is pretty worn. It's a very well-trodden trail. And a lot of the grass here, as you're getting away from Willamute, the grass is maybe like a head higher than the rest of you, and it goes into the distance and is even. So there are times when the path gets over a hill and you can see that there are fields of rolling grass. You're mostly walking downhill. It's a gentle descent towards Aspengrace. And maybe after about an hour's walk, you can see the actual spot on the map. It's a series of aspen trees on a hill, and you see maybe little glints of wooden structures between the trees, and they seem to be spanning some kind of dried up river.
Ooh, cool.
So, describe what you're doing and what that looks like as you hike towards Aspengrace.
Who wants to go first? Because I did the intro, so I've been talking too much.
Balthazar definitely is just schlop, 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 schlop. That's what he's doing.
Oh,
He's waddling along and he's very hydrated and wet and leaves
wet
little
footprints.
yeah, those it's little mud footprints. He's still a mud fury.
oh, that's so cool.
I love that.
Okay.
But I don't know, because it's not like they should be afraid of or anything. He's just kind of going along in good spirits. He's happy to see a town in the distance. He's excited to see new things. So he's just walking along, being friend-shaped and a happy wet toad.
And what sort of pace are you guys making? Are you hiking as fast as you can? Are you just taking a leisurely stroll? What's the vibe?
I would say somewhere between leisurely and we're not speeding, we're not running, but between leisurely and faster pace to kind of get going. I
think that's probably fair, because obviously we want to find this journal, Chipper's journal, probably relatively fast, because we want to find out where the beetle went. But it's a warm day. There's probably no serious like agency or urgency to like rush all the way to Aspengrace when it is like it is hot, and it's kind of nice to amble every now and then. I imagine like Pip is kind of like walking a little bit and then sort of jumping up and having a little flutter and like a little fly around and enjoying the summer breeze. And then like, but she's never like flying far. She's like flying maybe. I try to think of it in like an animal footage, like with like 10 feet in front of them, and then it's like coming back to ground and like walking beside them again, and then sort of after like another 5-10 minutes she'll do that again. She's just enjoying the summer sun. She's really like she's really happy at the moment. She's so happy to be flying again. Because it's been like over a month.
Every time she flies up, Balthazar claps.
Oh my god, so wholesome.
So I would like you to make a vigor check for me, Pipistrelle.
Yeah.
Because you're exercising and you're testing out your wings.
I am. Please don't
God.
let me.
Please
Please don't let me face plant.
Tag
It would
flying.
be so hilarious if you got hijinks and just broke your other wing.
I was just gonna say, like, would you not get automatic advantage because you're like a flying creature who's good at flying?
I hope
I
so.
don't know,
Maybe not.
Brian.
This isn't a flying test. This is more just about like how your recovery in terms of constitution and
Oh
strength.
no.
That's true.
Okay.
So I have nothing I can tag. So it's gonna be straight vigor roll. Oh
Me
come
neither.
on!
We didn't resolve our vice or virtue last time.
No.
Oh, never mind.
Don't worry. This isn't like you break your neck or anything. This is you realize as you're flying that like, oh, you haven't exercised your wings like this for a long time. And while you've gotten a lot more comfortable walking around and using your different muscle groups to sort of like clamber and climb and scrabble, you're not so good at flying. You're aware that you can't fly for more than 5 or 10 minutes before you really start to get tired and have to glide back down to the ground. And that's something you're going to have to work on to build up that sort of that muscle group again, because they've sort of atrophied for a month. In the same way that like if a professional runner didn't run for a month and didn't even use their legs for a month, they'd have to get that development going again.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair because like while Pip is like on the ground and walking, she's like, we kind of all sort of agreed that she walks like a little T-Rex because her arms are her arms are so long, and she doesn't want her wings to drag on the ground, so she kind of like keeps her hands like up in the air, which is not usually what bats would do because obviously they would be flying and stretching their wings out properly. So like I imagine that like the muscles in her arms are like having to used to be like have been used to being sort of scrunched up and now having to be unfurled again. It's like an entirely
It's your
different set of
shoulders a lot
muscles.
as well, where there's all of that pivoting near the body.
Yeah.
You've got this sort of like, it's a good burning, but it's sort of like that ache of like proper exercise working through them again.
Definitely.
But again, you are in good spirits. And as you're getting closer to Aspengrace, you're seeing that this main path that you're on occasionally has a couple offshoots that seem to go off into the brush. And I'd say maybe after a few hours, it's maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon, you get to close to where the map says it's going to be a crossroads. So it's sort of here-ish. And you actually notice that a lot of the grass is thinning out to much shorter stubble. It seems to purposely have been cropped and cut. And you can see that there are farms over a lot of the horizon in the general vicinity.
Ooh, what kind of farms?
Yeah, what's growing?
They seem to be growing, some of them are growing wheat, sort of like this sort of bent over with the wind grain. Others seem to be, if it's not wheat, then it might be oats.
So there is towering wheat stalks.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they would be huge.
Yeah, wheat stalks are huge.
So these aren't what we humans grow as wheat. This is specially bred wheat for beasts. And so it has short stalks and it grows along the ground.
Oh, that's so cool.
GM.
So, yeah. Well, I thought this is what, because we have grown and cultivated wheat to be tall and usable for us. And so they've gone with the more natural properties of wheat, which is more like a gorsey, not the word gorse, but like heather, like it's low to the ground and it bends with the wind and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
And they're more like hedges.
Yeah,
They're not
nice
like
world
a
building.
field, it's like hedgerows of wheat.
Aw, adorable. I like
And
this.
And
there are
do you see the
little
far off?
wooden buildings. You see trails of smoke going into the summer, this kind of dark blue summer sky from these little houses. And by the side of the road, you see that there is a kind of like a market stall that you're coming up to. And there is a hedgehog at the market stall. Now, I think Lutzen, you're the only really one who would know about this sort of stuff. It's like just like the bringing by sort of here's my produce, pay what you want sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're the only one of the three who would have seen this sort of thing before.
I think in that case, then Lutzen would kind of approach it, he would notice it and kind of scurry through his pack a little bit, kind of like getting things ready to trade,
Aw.
and just like as a like almost like an instinct, just like it's just kind of what you do if you need some things.
Yeah, a lot of farms have like a little stall like this near their main road because a lot of travelers like to kind of like swap for a bit of food and then on their journey somewhere. Or swap for variety. So like farmers might go up and down the track and swap. Like if they're growing oats, then they might swap for wheat, and they might swap with the foragers for berries and stuff like that. So you're coming up to this little. It's basically just like a wooden table with a roof over it. And the hedgehog goes, "Hey, oi, how's it faring?"
Hello.
I love that the hedgehogs are from the West Country.
I
Sorry.
know, it's cute.
It's
hello.
So cute.
We're just on our way over to Aspengrace. Just what kind of wares have you got selling at the moment?
And the hedgehog kind of hunched over, sort of splays their arms. So I've got bits of carrots here. I've got a bit of some seeds that we've gone out and collected. And you see that the little kind of boxes of various food things and some vegetables. So there's some wild carrots that are long and thin that are laid out sort of like baguettes. And there's a couple barrels of like various seeds and grains, just like a mixed couple barrels of them. He has got 2 apples,
Oh my god.
big as pumpkins, if that makes sense.
I was gonna say, like, apples in this world must be huge.
Yeah, that's really
And
cute.
he kind of slaps the apple and he says, "Oh, this here beauty we've been growing for couple of months. It's taken a while, but and he gives it a little polish with a little rag that he's got. And says, "Oh, she's special to my art. Make a beautiful pie." But you said you were on your way to Aspengrace. Did you say?
Yes, we're on our way. We're just passing through, really.
You might want to take the other route. Go round a long way. There's my son, he says there's a wolf nearby. You might want to avoid him.
That doesn't sound ideal at all.
A wolf in Aspengrace.
That's what I said, but he said he's done saw a big wolf. He's knocked fangs and all. And you'd think that they'd leave us little bits be, go off and be in the north and I know eat hares or something, but it's just been lingering. I don't like it.
What doesn't the town have any forces to drive off such an unwelcome guest?
Well, yes, Aspengrace does have the Aspen Guard, but we're quite a ways off, so I'm not sure what they're doing. Anyhow, I'm not going to be going into town for at least a couple of weeks, so not really my problem right now. Just thought I'd pass the word on though, because it could be a mighty shock getting there and see that big burly furry.
Yeah, and how long has the wolf been around?
Well, my son said he saw it some maybe 3 or 4 days ago, or maybe it might have been a friend who saw it and then told my son and then he told me. But I mean, word does spread fast around these parts.
Longer than you'd like.
Longer than we like, yeah.
very suspicious.
But if you're going the long way round, you might want to pick up a couple carrots to keep you going. And he kind of gives a little nod towards the produce.
Well, carrots are my favorite, so I think I will have to pick up a couple. Do you guys want some?
Yeah, I think some carrots for the journey might be good if we have to take the long route. But do you not?
I don't have teeth.
Oh, that is an oversight on my behalf.
But, Balthazar, we can always sort of mush them up a little bit for you.
Oh my god, I love it. I'm sorry. I don't have teeth.
I suppose maybe if we can grate it a little bit, I could probably eat it that way.
Well, I'm sure I could make you some teeth or something. I'm sure we've got some stuff around, or we could just make a little, something to munch them on, or like, I don't know.
Prosthetic
You could start
teeth.
looking through his back. Or like looking through his bag of fixings of like, has he got anything that could resemble teeth? Just come fumbling through it.
I would say make it's a harebrained idea, so I'll let it just be a straight roll, but like make a cunning check to see if you can find stuff to make teeth.
Would I be able to tag outlandish solutions?
Yeah, okay. I'll let make this roll advantage. Oh wow.
I mean, there's no failing here, Brian.
Critical success. You do better than expected. The narrator describes how things go in your favor. I'm gonna say it'll take you like an afternoon of whittling, but you're pretty sure that you've got the wire and the bits and pieces to put together a set of wooden teeth for Balthazar.
Leave it with me. Leave it with me, Balthi. I'll see what I can whip up for you. I'm sure we've got a solution here somewhere.
I feel like the scene would go that like
Ooh.
you say that. I don't know if I want teeth, as like Lutzen is measuring your mouth.
I love it. As he's like spreading my gums. Take a look
but
at
you could
measurements.
have got a lovely pair of molars right up in here, and
But teeth sound like so much trouble. You can't just tumble and fall much, because you might chip a tooth.
Well, we can just leave the front ones out. All you really need are the ones at the side.
Well, I guess, another thing that toads and our cousins frog lack are ribs. Would you build me some too?
And I think Lutzen just gonna get like that kind of spark in his eye. He'll just have that kind of like, and just be thinking about it for the rest of the journey. Just be like, leave it with me. There's plenty of I'm sure we can figure something out.
Oh god.
What have we done?
You thought you were going to be building a mech for Lutzen. However,
you got to start small.
A literal exoskeleton because I lack ribs and teeth.
The hedgehog leans over and says, "Oh, where are you, a little teasmith? Because I got," and he pulls back his gum and he shows that he's got 2 teeth missing on his right side. He's like, "Oh, I got a missing little chomper there. Have you got anything you could
Ooh.
help me out with?"
well, tell you what, if I can whip you up some teeth, do you think that we can maybe get a couple of carrots?
Sounds like a fair deal, but I want them to be removable because, and he lets out a long, sweet whistle, holding up the gum. Let out a great sound when I lift my gum up.
Oh, I know what that would go with perfectly. And he takes out the copper music box.
Oh my god.
And
you'll love this.
You wind it up and start playing the music, and he starts whistling along as well and tapping his foot. And he's having a whale of a time, except he doesn't know what a whale is, so he's having a great time.
I think seeing this, Balthazar is now considering that maybe he does want teeth.
Oh.
See, Lutzen will point out, but like, Balthazar, see, you could whistle as well. It'd be fantastic. We could have a whole marching troop.
I imagine that if Balthazar tried to whistle without teeth, it would just be like.
I mean, whistling is about like it's your lips, not really your teeth.
That is true.
Make a cunning check, Balthazar.
I can't do that, Brian.
Cunning rolled to whistle.
I don't know. God. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh.
Oh,
well,
hijinks. You
no.
to yourself are like, I wish I had teeth so I could whistle. And you try to whistle out the side of your gum like the hedgehog is doing, and you blow a side raspberry, which is new. It has never been done before, but you do manage to go.
Oh god. I hate that I can picture.
Laughing noise.
Yeah, I hate that I can picture exactly what you were doing there.
I know.
Like how you were like moving your mouth.
It's art.
He
It's art.
makes
yeah.
beautiful toad whistles, which sound a
Oh,
little like
yeah,
backwards.
I don't need to whistle the way that you do. And then he's gonna croak, because
The croaks
toad
are
croaks are they're very squeaky and kind of high.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No. I like this.
I'm gonna say, Lutzen, make a cunning roll for me to see how fast you're able to create a couple of these removable wooden dentures for this hedgehog.
Okay.
I'd say it will take you a couple hours, you think, to find to kind of. I'm gonna say in your bag of fixings you've got some bits of chippings of wood that you could carve down into some canines, some fangs for this. This hedgehog, and then some wire, and it won't be perfect, but it'll be a short-term fix
Nice.
that can be taken out
Yeah, I
and
like
washed
that.
and stuff like that.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, Wilson will just kind of plonk his butt down on the road and just start whittling away.
Well, the hedgehog actually takes out a chair, a little stool that he's got from behind the wooden counter, and he sort of like lets you sit down, and I'm just going to say he's willing to just vibe and jam with you, Balthazar, making your croaking and him whistling.
Hell yeah.
I like to imagine.
Collab.
I like to imagine like the whittling of this and like the crafting of this is like the Animal Crossing, you know, when it's just like ding 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 ding, and there's just like bits flying all over the place. It's just like wood shavings flying about.
Yeah, I feel like the camera pans away from you, and all we see is just like smoke, wood chippings, occasionally like fire and a whisker or something.
Yep.
And the camera then pans
Coming
back, and
closer,
it's like, da-da. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he turns around and holds up towards the sky and goes da 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 da.
Yep. And it's like two fangs with some wire, and he fits them in, and he goes, nice. Go on, you go take the bigger in this one. He grabs a couple of the carrots, and he sort of hands them over. And says,
thank you,
and
thank you.
I got some, and he kind of goes behind and brings out a glass jar, and he's got some mint in it as well. And he goes, "Oh, have some of this as well. Grows wild near the house. This is nice to chew on." And hands you a couple stalks of mint.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I would recommend chewing some of that for your teeth. I've heard it keeps them fresh, keeps them nice and clean.
And he kind of breathes at you, and you can tell that he does. He chews a lot of mint. He goes, got a tongue for it, you know. And he kind of pops one in his mouth and goes, as like hedgehogs do.
Oh,
That's adorable. Oh my god,
that's
I love
very cute.
hedgehogs. I love hedgehogs in this world. They are so funny.
Yeah, I do love their accent. It fits them very well. Although I do just imagine them all in dungarees.
So do we want to go that long route, or do we want to go check out this wolf?
Yeah, Brian, when you say the long route, can you tell us what the long route might
long
be?
route is this path this way
Oh.
that goes to the left
Oh gosh, that is a long
to
route.
Fallow
isn't it?
Fields, and then going across to Bramble Fork this way. Whereas
Oh.
Aspen, you're here just before this crossroads, and you're about to go the short route directly to Aspengrace.
How actually we're on okay, no, we're actually not on a hill. Right
Oh no,
now.
that's a river, isn't it?
Yeah, we're kind of about to go over a hill towards Aspengrace. I think, if I'm reading the lines
Yeah.
of the map properly.
Because it is one bypaw, so a day towards Fallow Fields, and then another day and a bit to
God, that's whereas
Bramble Fork, and
that's
that
cross
day and a
country as
bit
well.
is cross country. Whereas you're very short distance away from Aspengrace, and then it's only a day by road.
Yeah, because
Well,
sorry,
I
Bob.
want to see the wolf.
I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of like
yeah.
I didn't say much in that last encounter with the hedgehog, and I'm sure he's lovely, but like A wolf in the forest at this time of year?
You can say something to him. He's still
Can
there.
can I be my general sort of
Sus
Pipistrelle
him.
self? Can I be slightly I'm slightly sus of this hedgehog and just like I think again in her kind of very sweet, like kind of unpresuming way, I think sort of Pip would just say to the hedgehog, it's like, well, was it his son or his friend who saw it?
Well, he said first he said his son, and then he
Yeah.
said my son's friend told my son, and then my son told me.
Yeah, so like
mhm.
I think Pip would sort of ask like, well, just before we kind of make our choice about which way to go, so where exactly did your son or your son's friend see the wolf? Because it's a bit it's a bit early for them to be down this part of the woods. Usually they're much further north, and they'll be chasing the behemoths up there. All the elk and the deer and the hares and things. It seems a bit odd to find them here of all places in the summer.
Well,
She's
that's
kind of-
what
she's
I
not-
thought, says
Yeah.
the hedgehog. And he goes, You sound all sorts of learned about the wolves. You ever met one before? I haven't.
No, Pip wouldn't have. She wouldn't have met a wolf, but like I think being in Oduk, she's probably heard in passing stories of wolves and things like walking, like because from what I can tell, at least from like wolves when they used to live in Scotland, is like they're a pack animal and they would go further south in the winter, so like because there was more food for them to eat. But like during the summer, like they probably just kind of hang out north where there's still like lots of deer and lots of land, and they not close to people and things like that. So like you'd hear about wolves attacking animals and stuff like in the winter because they are around, but like in the summer it's a bit suspect. So I think she sort of replied like, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but one does hear things, and it's just very unusual, don't you think? It's wonder what would drive the wolves so far south. Well, wolf, I suppose. We don't know if it is wolves or wolf.
Oh, I would not want it to be wolves, plural. That'd be a bad day for me. Well, honestly, I don't know, but from what I've heard from my son, he's over in Aspengrace, and he's been there a week and more. Maybe 2 weeks, as I said. Sorry, I was chewing mint. It got a bit, and he kind of gets a bit of mint out of the new teeth, and he goes, well, until I hear he's gone, I'm not going into town, and I've got plenty of little bits of grains and things to keep us going, so I don't need to go in. Honestly, I can't tell you much more. Just thought I'd pass on the word that there's something that won't chomp you. Hopefully he doesn't chomp us, and if he does, I'll give him a prick what's for.
I think Sus is sort of leaving her now. She's like, well, it's good of you to tell us, good of you to warn us. But I think, and she sort of looked at like Lutzen and Balthazar at this point. It's like, I think, should we risk taking the faster road to Aspengrace?
I think
Well-
if
Oh,
think-
sorry, please go.
oh sorry. I think if we're wanting to try and find the notebook and the beetle, we probably need to be on a bit of a faster path. So I think we might have to move that way.
I think that's sort of what I was thinking. What about you, Balthazar?
Well, I don't really know much about wolves, but I imagine if it had ill intentions, much like, for example, the boars did, Aspengrace would probably not be standing the way that we see it now. So maybe, I'm thinking about Crier and in his story of how he fled some bad things from the south. Maybe this wolf is also a knight with a queen that died, and they're looking for something better down here.
It's a very good point, Balthazar. I never really thought about it that way.
I would like to see a behemoth knight. That would be quite something.
It would be truly
Can you imagine
magnificent.
how big that armor must be?
It would be huge. Watson stares off in the distance, just thinking about how one would craft armor that big.
This is just feeding his mecha, like
It really is.
Oh god.
Mecha
It's all feeding
pondering.
in.
God,
Yeah.
Lutzen is gonna lose his mind if we ever get to a town that actually has like one of those tamed, but also one of the like the behemoths that like looks after a town.
Oh, he would just like idolize it, glorify it, and offer up his. He would just be like, "I am yours. Let me just build your new armor."
Oh god.
Yeah, that's where Lutzen's adventure ends.
Yeah. I have
Lutzen
found my
joins a
purpose
cult.
in life.
Oh my god, like yearbook, most likely to, Lutzen is most likely to join a cult.
I mean,
Yes,
realistically.
Okay. What are you
Yeah,
guys doing?
I think
I would like to see the Wolf Knight.
I would like to see the wolf, but from a distance. I really
can-
don't think I'm one for meeting him up close.
Well,
I mean, I don't know if we're going to meet this wolf, but I suppose if we take this faster path, we will probably come across it. I guess we'll just have to be careful.
well, no behemoth wants to eat a toad anyway, so I'm not too worried.
Yes, but Balthazar, you forget the two of us are not toads.
Yes.
Well, I'll stand in front of you and dissuade the wolf, and if it comes too close, I'll bop it on the nose.
You know what? That worked last time with the Polecat, so I'm trusting you for this.
Indeed. I mean, how big can a wolf be?
Famous last words.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh,
Wait, Pip, why did you say that?
Yeah, what did you mean by that, Pip? What are you talking about?
nothing
How
at
big is a
all.
wolf?
I mean, actually, okay, Brian, how much of wolfy general behemoth stuff will Pip have learned just from kind of being around Odok and seeing all these other animals? You kind of talk
So
about-
I would say what we know of Pipistrelle is that she's a very social, nosy creature.
she is indeed.
I would say make a willpower roll because willpower is related to empathy and socializing, but also controlling that as well. Looking meek, fading into the background, being inconspicuous. So I'm going to say make a willpower roll to see how much you would have picked up in the past about
Okay.
wolves.
Okay. Oh, please do not roll me a hijinks. Hooray!
Success. You rolled a 4, you do as well as you can. So I'm going to say that what you've said about wolves, you know. So they are in the north and they roam south. You know that they are rather mercurial. And there are no known wolves that live with other beasts. They sort of keep their own and have their own agendas.
Okay.
Do you know how big they are?
Yeah. So, like, would I have ever overheard someone like in Odok who maybe had like a close encounter with a wolf or a wolf pack who survived?
Not an Odok.
No. Okay.
You just know that they are big.
Okay.
Bigger than a
I think.
house.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Well, I think that's what Pip would say.
When it
as
comes
well,
to bee moths, and seeing them up close, I think the only bee moth that people have regularly seen now are boars, to kind of quantify their size. But mostly when it comes to, they're a bee moth, and bee moths are bigger than houses.
Yeah. I suppose like I'm having a brain fart. Like what? Because I think it would have been not like those huge Arctic wolves that were in the UK before they went extinct, but I'm pretty sure it's like timber wolves, which I still think are pretty massive, actually.
Yeah, I think wolves are generally just quite large.
Wolves are generally just quite big.
Like big Labrador sized, if not
Yeah.
bigger.
Oh no,
So
they
I've
are
got
way
my
big.
head.
They're way bigger than dogs.
Oh,
Oh
huge.
yeah, no, yeah, you're
Like,
right, actually.
like they're way bigger than large dogs because they're they're wild, big ol' apex predators.
Yeah.
They're
How
some
big
big
is a
boys.
wolf? Oh my god.
Yeah, wolves are frickin' huge.
No,
and
like if they stand on their hind legs, like they can be taller than a human. Like
Yeah.
and like so like depending on the species of wolf, like they can be huge. Like they'll never be as big as like dire wolves, which went extinct a long time ago, but like even a timber wolf would easily reach like a human's, just standing up would easily reach like a human's hips.
yeah, I'm posting in our game chat. Oh, why can I not access this? Sorry. In the game chat, just a guy kind of holding up a wolf, like he's hugging it. It's alive. It's fine.
Oh wow! Oh, that's a big doggo.
That's a big dog.
But that's about the size.
So like compared to okay, so even if I went into like Roll20 just and did like a quick size comparison, where is some space? Like
I think Lutzen would be like the length of his snoot.
Yeah,
or up to like his little ankle.
So if this
I would say you guys the size of its paw.
Yeah, so like
dog thumb.
Yeah.
So like wolf head, and then like
I have uploaded a wolf.
Ooh.
Oh,
like
it's on Lenta's drawing.
So
yeah.
Like that would be a wolf, and like that's Pip.
I think even smaller. I think Pip's even smaller.
Honestly, even smaller than that. So like, I can't make the drawings bigger and smaller because I don't have access to do that as like a lot. Yeah, but like, like, wolves are big, and like that's
Oh
yeah, like honestly, and that's not even accounting for like bears, which would be like, don't even have room to draw a bear. Like that would be half a bear's head. This is a submarine. This is a submarine bear. Like
submarine bear.
Like even just compared to like, do you remember when we met the hare? And like the hare is like pretty big. Even the polecat that we met was still like maybe not like huge, but still like.
I mean, what about that like turkey creature?
The capercaillie. Yeah,
like that's huge, and a wolf is just like that's like half my lunch or something. Not even
exactly.
worth it.
Yeah,
so
you guys
I think
are so right. Give the card.
Like
avoid at all costs.
Oh, like we are like when we like. I remember when we like. But
anyway,
you don't know that.
Wolves are very very.
We don't.
Pipistrelle just knows that wolves are big.
Yeah, I think she would say that. It's like, well, I know that they're big behemoths, but like, I've never seen one. I suppose if we went and I suppose we could at least see. Maybe we could then take that knowledge on and tell other people if we saw it. Maybe I hope maybe we don't see it though.
Well, as I said, I really want to see a wolf knight.
Balthazar, I'm not convinced it's a knight. It might just be a wolf.
But there's only one way to find out.
So take it. We're going to take the faster road to Aspengrace then, and just see if we can find this wolf.
Well, now that we've had one discussion, are you ready for another? Time to pick a fortune.
Always.
Your fortunes for the upcoming scene are palms gilded by blood, a stitch in time, prejudices of the charmer.
A stitch in time.
Stitch in time, Brian, for God's sake.
Prejudices. Oh, all of these are.
These are all really good.
None of them directly points to wolf to me, and I don't know which to pick. There's not like a in sheep's clothing.
Oh, I was just expecting teeth.
Teeth.
Oh, teeth. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just about Balthazar getting his teeth.
Yeah.
Prophecies about, or the fortune.
What are you guys leaning towards? I'm trying to weigh these up.
I am interested in the wording of, like, palms gilded by blood, because it's not it's not like palms soaked in blood or stained. It's gilded. Why gilded specifically?
There's an extra bit I forgot to say. It's palms gilded by the blood of beasts.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean,
that changes things.
I mean, it does. I mean, I do. I love a stitch in time just because I love time the plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, palms gilded by the blood of beasts make me think of tanners.
Oh my god. I mean. Yeah.
Ooh. I mean,
if there's a wolf, that's who you'd send to try and kill it.
Oh.
That's true.
But
oh my god, and a stitch. A stitch in time. Stitching.
Yeah.
Oh,
Prejudice of the Charmer. I don't know what that is.
I don't know, but
it depends on like. I suppose it depends. Like if we met another character like that lizard who was with the capercaillie, Barley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good charmer. Is someone like that.
Yeah. I'm just imagining Brian sitting right now like a Bond villain. Just
yes.
Fingers just like, ha, you're trying to figure out my plan.
I mean, yeah, but
I have been flailing ever since you started making wooden teeth, and then you were talking about wolf knights. All of these ideas are fantastic, and I love them.
I think we have to go with the Palms gilded by blood of beasts. I think it's
we
ominous.
Yeah, like we all went like ooh, which is usually kind of good of an indication that we're all of one mind.
Yes, we are one brain cell.
We are
one
brain
mind,
cell.
one ooh.
We are feeding the rat brain.
Feed the rat brain.
Don't feed your
With
rat brain.
palms of blood? No.
Mm.
I think that's it.
I think yeah,
Are we all in?
yeah, I think so. Ver, are you happy with that?
Oh
one?
yeah. That one's fascinating and
Mm.
kind of like maybe sinister, maybe a little grotesque, which I like in my stories. I like that in narratives. I'm excited for Palms Gilded by the Blood of Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like that
Now-
little rear twang there.
Before we continue, we have just got to think about our vice, virtue, and vice, our bearings for our characters. I don't think there was a lot that happened last scene that necessarily pushed the envelope. So we can just refresh them. And if you want to change your bearing, you could explain why you think it's changed.
I think I'm still in vice at the moment, and I think I can't see anything that would have swayed her towards neutral or virtue, to be honest, for Pip. I think she's probably still in vice, mostly because I think she's happy to be flying again, and she's.
I think you're feeling your oats. You're feeling really self-empowered.
Oh, very much so. I think she's like feeling your oats. I think she's like, hecky yeah, it's been months. I can fly again, and hooray! I get to.
Finally, I'll ditch these losers.
No.
I can boost when I want to. Yeah, we meet the wolf and Pip just fucks off.
Pip's like,
Just like bye.
bye. No, she would never. She would never.
I think refreshing probably works then.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, yeah. I was gonna say maybe I feel like possibly. Excuse me. And
Possibly.
Lutzen possibly has gone back to either neutral or vice, having been like quite spontaneous in the moment. Like I'm gonna craft these things. Just like very. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not sure if it's
Well, it's actually up to you. I think neutral
okay.
suits Lutzen. Like,
yeah, because
you have been
not
very
really thinking ahead,
spontaneous.
and more spontaneous than he has been.
So maybe you're willing to be spontaneous, and the reason why your boon is ask a question for neutral is because you're able to sort of think about, is the thing that I'm going to do going to be really useful? And then I'm going to do it. You have that introspection to know that you should, when to act, but also the ability to kind of question and criticize if you should act.
Yes, I like that.
I just have a request, Fraser. If we see a wolf, can you use your question to ask if he's a knight?
Oh, I will highly consider it, Balthazar. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
The question has to be
It's
about
at the
an action.
forefront of my mind.
So you've got to frame it as, if I go up to this wolf and ask him if he's a knight, will he say yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Perfect.
So you start moving forward towards Aspengrace, causing the music to change.
Uh-oh.
Just, I hope it's not super scary.
Battle music.
What is this?
Curious. So,
Okay,
as you
I
start to
have
approach...
So I have music maximum on roll 20. Maybe this
It
is
is
just
very
a
quiet.
quieter turn.
It's very
Yeah.
quiet.
Oh, I'm hearing it now.
Yeah, we
Oh
go.
dear. Okay.
That's a bit plinky plonky and sinister.
It's a
Yeah.
little too sinister, but it'll even out, I'm pretty sure. So you approach Aspengrace, and you see on the horizon that it is built on two banks of what used to be a river that has now since dried up. The river was quite deep, leaving this sort of like a gorge between the two. On either side of the bank grow aspen trees, and between the aspen trees have been built wooden scaffolding, rope bridges, and there is what was a bridge town has now expanded below into the dried out river as well.
Wow. That's so
There are
cool.
bridges that reach into the aspen trees and allow you to cross over the gorge, but you can also just walk on the bed of the dried river now as well. And there seem to be, as you're approaching, wooden buildings of more ornate craft within the trees, and then more ramshackle huts and houses, some of them wood, some of them dirt, like mud, brick, on the riverbed. Some of them have like stone bases and mud walls. And
Interesting.
the population of people. You see people milling around. You see farmers in fields as you approach Aspengrace. You see people kind of going around. There seems to be kind of like a market in the middle of Aspengrace. So you see kind of beasts in the trees as you're coming close, and you hear sound as well. And well, just general chatting. The sounds of people on a busy
the sound
sort
of
of like
screaming and people being eaten by a wolf.
no. So you hear people.
Not yet.
And they seem to be mostly hedgehogs, moles, and squirrels.
Ooh, okay.
And you do see a fair few hares walking around as well, dragging carts. Some of them are on the farms, and they all seem to be going about and doing something. They seem to be very active. Pipistrelle, I'd like you to make a cunning check for me to see how perceptive your nose is.
Okie dokie.
Because you've got quite sharp senses.
Yeah, okay. Can I tag anything? Probably not. Okay, never mind. Ooh, hurrah!
Oh, very nice.
You rolled. Scroll. I thought a success. I was on the wrong tab. You do as well as you can. You can smell the general scent of anxiety.
Oh, really?
There seems to be a general air of unease. Like, vibe check passed. You get anxiety. The mood ring is blue.
Oh, God, not a vibe. I think if this is kind of the general vibe that she's getting from the town, I think she would like sort of quietly to Balthazar and to Lutzen, really she would kind of lean over to whisper to Balthazar, and she would kind of like tug on Lutzen's arm so he kind of brings his head down closer so she can whisper in his ear, like, something feels a little off here. Can you guys feel that?
Well, the river that is dry, it should be full of water.
That's a good point.
Watson's marveling at the bridges and the trees.
And not listening, I take it.
As an introspection, the river looks long dry, as in like it's been dry for a while, which is why there are buildings in it.
Yeah, oh, no, I
It's
know,
not- yeah,
but that's just what Balthazar noticed, because rivers should be full of water.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
Balthazar's like, everything should be wet.
Yes. They should fill it with water again. I don't understand why they make buildings. If the water comes back, that's going to be very dangerous.
Well, Balthazar, maybe this is part of a river that has sort of, channeled itself away to a,
Oh, don't even tell me such things. That sounds terrifying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A river that goes away. No.
Blasphemy.
It's so cute.
Well, if it's not that, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, rivers change.
No, but you said that things are off. If it's not the river,
I see.
You
Well,
don't need. I know rivers, Pipistrelle. Don't worry. But what is this? What is this about that you feel that something's not right?
well, there's a. She sort of like, twitches her ears a little bit, twitches her nose. There's a mood in this little working village. There's an anxiety, a something.
Well, there's a wolf night. It's probably
Well-
why everybody's scared.
Well, maybe it's like, are people kind of like, so people obviously people wrong beasts, like all these beasts are kind of out and doing their general day-to-day thing, but like, is there any way that like you might see them, like, are they stopping and talking to each other? Do they look worried, or are they just kind of is it just kind of a
occasionally
general
you see a
feeling?
gaggle of people like talking quickly and then they move on. Generally, people seem to be working or going about an errand. If there's no casual people sitting on benches, and
Okay.
you seem to connect that anxious energy with sort of, cleaning your house when you're worried about something.
Well,
Interesting.
Balthazar is gonna try and flag down one of these people who are milling about. Like what kind of? Oh, let's say he one of the moles, because moles are cool. that's milling about, and also probably slow enough for him to try to flag down. He's gonna flag down and Mole and say, "Excuse me, Master Mole, we're newcomers or passerbys to Aspengrace, and somebody on the road told us that there is some manner of wolf knight that is around in the area, and apparently people are a little worried around here. Would that be the reason?"
And the mole kind of sniffs with its nose and kind of squints at you because it's obviously it's daytime. It kind of leans in and goes, "Oh well, there is a wolf. I haven't seen it myself. I haven't gotten close enough, but it's on the other side of the bank." And he kind of points back towards the other side of Aspengrace. You see the trees. You've got the riverbank, the connecting trees, and then the other side of the bank. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but so and there's buildings there.
Yes, as in, so like I'm going to draw it above the map, but like this is a cross section of Aspengrace. You've got like trees here and trees here, and you are here, and the wolf is apparently
over there,
somewhere
On
there.
the other side.
here.
There he is.
Okay, so the route that we are taking is going to be in this direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a very straight line. Wow. Sorry.
Wow.
Well done, Ver. Jesus.
Congratulations.
That's perfect.
I imagine that was just Roll 20 English. Anyway, okay. Well, I think Balthazar's kind of gonna scratch his face and say,
The mole wasn't quite finished talking.
"Oh, sorry,
He says-
never mind."
He's on the other side, and he's just watching.
Oh, that's a bit ominous.
Well, has the town sent any envoy? Maybe a bird that could sit above a tree and speak down to the wolf out of its reach?
And the mole kind of squints and goes, "Oh, no. I wouldn't want to go talk to a wolf. It's a bad idea."
Well,
He kind of
So nobody-
shuffles his stuff and gets he looks very anxious.
who's in charge at Aspengrace? Maybe I should pitch my idea to them.
You might want to talk to Leo de Grance. He's an heir in the market. He seems to have a good idea of what's going on. He organises the markets and the hair festivals and stuff.
All right.
I need to get going if that's all right with you.
Yes. I did not mean to stop you from your work. Thank you. We'll seek this Leon de Grace.
He sort of adjusts he's got sort of like tinted glasses on. He sort of adjusts the tinted glasses and gathers up 2 bags of food, vegetable things, like slices of pear, I think, wrapped in waxcloth, and he sort of goes, "Ooh," and he kind of just waddles off.
I love moles. I love moles in this world so much.
Yeah, great.
Because I got in Greer's game, there was Hiccup who must be protected at all costs.
He was the best. I love
Yes,
Hiccup.
so cute. Anyway, Balthazar will kind of turn to the others and say, "Well, how about we find this fellow and just see what's happening? I'm actually quite curious now as to what is really happening. It seems nobody's taking any action, just waiting to see. And I don't think that's very wise in a moment of such consternation, I don't know the word, but such confusion."
Oh my god.
So I'm pretty
Yeah.
curious that the wolf's just watching.
Well, maybe it's waiting for somebody to invite it in.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, if he's a knight, which he is, then that's the social graces are there regardless of what manner of creature you are, and it could well be that this wolf knight is simply waiting for some envoys to allow it to enter. It's very polite if you ask me. If it's the size of a boar, it could well trudge on in, and and do catastrophic damage. So I have to say, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised that even wolves follow knightly honor. If they are knights, which this wolf is.
I just love how convinced he is that this wolf is definitely a knight. There is no ifs or buts about it.
Balthazar's headcanon is just it's Bible. It is what it is.
Yeah,
truth.
everything he says is absolute truth.
Absolute truth.
I guess we can go and find this hare. Sorry, how did you pronounce the hare's name again, Brian?
Vier du Grace, was that?
Leo de Grace.
Leo de Grace.
Leo de Grance. There's an N. Leo de Grance.
Leo de Grance.
Leo de Grance. Okay, so I guess we go and find Leo de Grance then and ask them what is happening.
Sounds good.
Okay. With my words and powers combined, I will tell a story. You start to trudge, and you see that Aspengrace is very settled. It's not a rope bridge that leads up into the upper parts of the trees, but instead a spiral staircase built into one of the sides of the trees. Now, the trees themselves aren't large enough like the ones in Oak where you can go inside them, but they are wide and old enough that they have scaffolding built onto and around them that then allow huts and houses sort of then expand out. And many of them have yes, and they have wall like one of the back wall of a hut would be the bark of the tree.
Very cute.
And cool. It's got multiple levels, and you're going up, and it's all kind of quite closely put together. And you notice as you're walking up the staircase into Aspengrace, there's a little kind of archway sign that says "Welcome to Aspengrace," and there's just embellishment carved into the bits of the tree. There's like some leaf patterns carved into the bark of the tree. There's a railing that's got a squirrel head. At either end of the banister.
Oh, just imagine a banister with a human head.
It's kind of true, actually.
Oof.
Well, I mean, think of
maybe it's a beetle.
I was gonna say, think of it like angels and cherubs and stuff like that.
That's true, actually. Yes.
Like it's not an accurate squirrel head. It's like a little characteristic.
It's like like a decal, like a statuette or a gargoyle.
That makes more. Sorry, my immediate.
It's not creepy.
It just sounded like decapitated squirrel head attached to wall, like
Welcome to Aspengrace. Yeah, let's bring Chipper here.
Yeah, we hate.
I feel like
Aspengrace.
I would love it. I mean, I would love it. Balthazar would love that.
When does the ball
and there's
music start playing?
And you get up into the first floor of Aspengrace, and there are two hedgehogs there, flanking the staircase, and they are wearing metal hats, caps, helmets, and they have chainmail over their stomachs.
Ooh.
And they both have wooden spears, and they kind of are looking at ease, and they give you a little nod, and they go, "You are welcome to Aspengrace," and sort of step a little aside so you can get past.
I think Pip would nod at them and say, thank you for having us, I suppose.
Would you happen to know where we can find a Leo de Grance?
Oh, yes, you want to go up to the market. It's 2 floors up on that left staircase just over there, and then straight on. It's the floor that's spanning the river. And you kind of point and you see that it's the largest wooden scaffold that's actually suspended over the river.
Oh.
I think Lutzen's kind of trying to commit the directions to memory, kind of speaking them to himself, to keep them fresh in the brain.
Smart boy.
Yeah. Balthazar will thank the guards and go get his leg day in on these stairs.
Now, the stairs are not like the ones in Willowmoot, where they are much made for all sizes of creatures. These ones seem to be specifically for much smaller beasts of your sort of general size. Rats and squirrels and smaller steps. You see there is a hare coming down one of the staircases, taking 2 steps at a time. A little oversized for this sort of space, and kind of ducking under an archway as they kind of go through about their business. or like they don't duck, but like their ears flop back as they go under the archway.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's
adorable.
And you go up to the market and you see that there are a fair amount of like purpose-built stalls here, but there aren't many merchants right now. It seems rather scant. There's one person in a corner with sacks of grain that seems to be kind of scribbling in a ledger, and you actually recognize the kind of sacks that they have, and the how they look, the color.
Seed Sprout Bank?
It's Sea Sprout Bank. It's not.
It's not barley.
Not Barley. That was his name, but it is someone from the Seed Sprout Bank.
Okay.
When we spoke to that farmer on the fork, he said that, well, I'd go to the market, but I don't really want to because there's a wolf. So I'm guessing that's why it's so empty. But it seems that these fellows from the Seed Sprout Bank are quite entrepreneurial and aren't really diverted by such threats.
No, I suppose not. They seem busy, I guess. Do
Is
not
there
trust
a-
capitalists. Sorry.
Is there a... Yeah, no, absolutely. Is there a hare that we see?
I would say if you wander around the market, you notice that there is on the far side, on the other side, there's sort of like a little office that's built against one of the trees on this scaffold, and there's a hare inside who is quite boredly fiddling with a book, a ledger. Kind of just flipping flipping a page and then flipping it back and then rolling a pencil and looking boredly out of a little kind of glassless window.
Oh.
Let's
think
go
Let's go entertain them.
So you walk past some empty stalls. There is another rather bored-looking rat here who is got some pottery for sale. Who sort of looks up as you pass by, but not really. As you see you walking towards the office, it sort of goes back to they're sketching a cartoon of something, but you don't really look. And you walk past. You go up to the office, and then the hair kind of turns around. Their eyes do that sort of like that swivel, and they look at you from the side, and they kind of notice that you come up to them, and they kind of turn slightly and go, "Hello, can I help?"
Does someone want to take this, or shall Balthazar just come in and start talking?
I'm very happy for Balthazar just to go in and do his thing.
Okay.
Good morning. Are you by any chance Leo Dugrance?
Yes, I am Leo de Grance. He kind of scratches his head and kind of steps out of the market office. And you notice that he's a lot larger than it looks like. He's kind of crammed himself into this small space, and he kind of comes out. He looks up at the sky and he goes, "Do you mean morning? It is afternoon."
Like, I didn't know.
That's fine.
Know. So.
We will retcon that.
Yeah. So Balthazar, having had to use the proper time of day, looks at this hair and
so he will still come out and he'll say,
yes.
"Oh, it has been a very long, slow day. How may I help you? I am.
It's
Leo
only the
Dawes."
afternoon.
Hooray! It is the afternoon. I cannot wait to not. You came to me for help.
Yes.
Is there anything I can do? And he looks suddenly a lot more like woken up that there are people speaking to him now.
Yes. Well, we have just arrived in Aspengrace, and I had a chance to speak with a person, a fine mole, on our shortly after entering, and they said that you're more or less somebody in charge around Aspengrace, or someone of some reputation or renown, and I wanted to ask about the Wolf Knight.
He chuckles when you say someone in charge, and he goes, "I would not say I'm in charge. I run and organize the market stores and collect little taxes for the council, but I would not say I'm in charge. And a wolf knight, Well, I would not know it if it's a knight. Might, though. Kind of gestures up and down at the armor and says, come over here, you can see him from the balcony. And he kind of takes you over to the other side of the Aspengrace balcony of the market. The market being quite high up, so you can see down. And you see, in the distance, is a wolf. It is very large. It is.
No, it's not. It's in the distance.
It's in the distance.
It's actually very smaller than I thought.
It is sitting next to a windmill.
A windmill?
Uh-oh.
A windmill that is gently kind of grinding along, the things are turning in the distance. And roughly having seen, say, like a windmill and bits of like Willamute and stuff like that, you know that it is maybe a bit bigger than a boar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so I think he sees it at first like, oh, that's actually much smaller. Wait, how big is that windmill?
And Leodogron says, that is the biggest building outside of the actual trees of Aspengrace.
No.
You can see why it is a little bit quiet in town right now.
Clearly.
How long has it's just sitting there? How long has it been out there?
About 2 weeks, on and off. It seems to go back to that spot and just stay there. It's,
Does it leave at all?
occasionally it goes into the forest. It goes east into the prickle spine.
But it keeps coming back.
But it keeps coming back. It is the damnedest thing. And honestly, it has made things a little quiet, a little boring around here.
That's a giant behemoth. That's very exciting in like a terrifying way.
In a terrifying way, I would agree. I would say that me and my boyfriend, we have packed our bags and we are ready to run if we need to. It is, but it hasn't done anything. Is he with you?
Curious.
What?
No, he
No.
doesn't seem to be with us.
What? What did we have come in earlier? If that was our
Well,
friend.
you asked, and he's
Well,
like,
I wouldn't ask about a wolf if I knew what he was and why he was here.
well, let's
I'd
both
probably
agree that he is not
come
with
in-
us.
I'd probably come in and say, hello, that wolf is my friend. Here's why he's there. Anyway,
Has anyone spoken to him at all?
yes, that's a good question.
Or has anyone tried to communicate with him? Or, like Balthazar said, has anybody sent some birds, some messengers, anyone thrown some papers, some notes at him?
Well, we have no birds in Aspengrace. They seem to see him on the horizon and then divert their flight path. They just avoid us. It is not good for business.
Can't imagine it's good for the economy.
No, it is the middle of August, and Ewan, the bank representative, is not happy that he has all this grain sitting around when it is meant to be moving on. He kind of nods over back towards this Ewan. Did I say he was a rat?
Yeah.
Or...
Yes.
Yeah, a rat that's writing in his ledger for the bank, and he sort of, you see his tail is very angrily like flicking back and forth.
Oh.
Because you're now looking behind him, behind his stall, so to speak, and he's sort of hunched on this chair and he's scribbling in this book.
Oh, bless him.
Well, so nobody has tried to extend any contact because it looks like that wolf is sitting on the road or in the direction towards Bramblefork, which is where we need to go.
That is unfortunate. He does not seem to bother any animals. We've had people very tentatively and then very quickly go up the road towards Bramblefork, but he just seems to be waiting there. I'm not sure what for. And we sent word to Fangwatch up the other way, a couple of days' walk. We sent a few of the hedgehog guards, the Aspen Guard, up to Fangwatch, and they came back and they said that the complaint had been received, but they were a little busy cleaning up from the rest of the war, and that they would get to us as soon as possible. I don't think they quite know what to do with a wolf. As I understand it, they're not meant to be this far south until the winter.
Well,
I'm sure we could have a word with him. See if people can if people can seem to get close to him. He seems to be pretty friendly then.
yes, and as a knight, because he's also a knight, I'm sure we would find common ground and we could speak.
Watson's gonna lean over to Pip and be like, "Are we sure that he's actually a knight?"
I think Pip would sort of lean back into Ludson's ears like, I don't think he's a knight, Ludson.
Oh dear. We'll just let him have this one.
I don't have the heart to tell him.
No, let's just let him have this one. It's probably best.
Agreed.
What are you two whispering about back there?
Oh, nothing. Just noticing the changing of the leaves and the look over there. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Oh, you're right. My goodness, the seasons really are changing, aren't they? Well, in any case, I suppose is there anybody that we should notify that perhaps he would like to extend an olive branch to this wolf?
What's an olive?
It's an ancient told proverb, and it comes. See, the beetles that we rear are from far, far east, and that's where these things called olives are from.
You're gonna have to show me those beetles sometime. But anyway, doesn't matter.
The leader grunts, looks and says, the council has decided to reconvene in the spring, and they have all retired to their farms a month early. This is why I guess they said you should come to me, as I think I'm the only one doing anything in the city anymore. It is... I would like it if you talk to this wolf. That would be a good idea. Maybe if you could get him to move away, then I could maybe get you some grain or put you up for a few days. What would you need? What would you want in return?
Well, we are on a bit of a tight schedule. We do really need to get up to the loch, but yeah, perhaps there's something we could strike a deal with later. But I don't think we're in any desperate need for much. But we do need to get going. That wolf does seem to be in our way.
And, well, if anything, I suppose provisions for the road would be entirely sufficient. We'd probably be restocking in Aspengrace anyway. So if we can help you out and you can help us, then I think that would be an entirely fine exchange.
Right. Well, I will start to whip around and organize a basket of things, and you go deal with this wolf. You are a knight, after all, I believe?
Indeed, a knight of Blueberry Pond.
Very well. Well, I shall let this Blueberry Pond Guild know of your fantastic services when you have removed the behemoth. And he sort of looks over his shoulder again at this wolf that is just staring at Aspengrace.
Is the wolf staring in a direction specifically, or just generally at Aspengrace?
It's
like,
too
he's not
far
looking
away
up
for you
at
to
us?
know.
Okay.
Okay.
It's sort
He's
of
not
like with the
watching
summer
us
light,
specifically.
it's sort of like a dark silhouette of a wolf. And it's sort of in the
Right.
shadow of this windmill as well. With its head
Interesting.
poking above the windmill.
I was going to say, did you say how big the windmill was in comparison? I think I maybe missed that.
I think it goes
It's
up to the
inside.
shoulders of the wolf when it's sitting on its haunches.
Oh, good lord.
So is the wolf like sitting down or lying down currently?
Sitting.
Oh god.
Not
okay,
lying.
Yeah.
If it was lying down, then that'd be like chomp.
Wow.
No,
It'd be like
but it's
Godzilla.
it's big.
I just because this guy said like, oh, Blueberry Guild and
Balthazar will just say, "Oh no, it's not a guild. It's an order. But if you'll be sending them a message about this event, make sure to let them know just how big this wolf is."
Yes. But one thing at a time, you deal with the wolf,
preferably-
I get you the basket, and we will have a wonderful day.
Well, start thinking about how big this wolf is in slugs, because that's the best they'll understand the size.
And maybe add a few slugs on the top, just for dramatic effect, you know?
I will go and do some calculations. And he sort of takes his pencil out from behind his ear and goes back towards his little market hut and starts to do some math about how big a slug is and how big a wolf is and how many slugs would fit in a wolf. And
Oh.
He's working out the
Seems to be
conversion
very-
rate for slugs to paws.
yeah, oh my god.
Oh.
Well then, let's speak with this fine wolf knight.
And how do we get back down?
Stairs.
There's
just kind of
there's
looking over the
stairs on
edge.
both sides.
Okay, that's fine.
It's not like just
I mean-
yeet yourself from the tree.
I mean, I
Stairs.
do have some rope. Let's just be honest here. We could get a direct way down. Pip, you can fly now, so you know. It's really just Balthazar we've got to worry about.
Pip, do you
Yes.
think that with sufficient strength training, you could carry us?
Pip kind of like narrows her eyes at Balthazar and sort of just says, "No."
Well, it was worth a shot, I guess.
That's a shame. That's a great shame indeed. Well,
I would pay good bags of oats to see a flying toad.
we can fly, but just once.
I think it would probably
If
just
you
be in one
find a-
direction.
If you find a high enough incline, yes.
I don't see
Yes.
toads.
Oh, but you
as
should see us.
particularly-
You should see us in
aerodynamic.
the water. We do look like we're flying when we're swimming around.
Now that I can imagine, and that I would love to see.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'll have to take off my armor for that, but next time I'll make sure to show you the fine water acrobatics of toads. It's another one of our sports.
For now, it's probably best to keep it on, just in case the wolf does decide to taste you.
Indeed.
But I imagine we're walking down the stairs at this point.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
almost
We're
like
just kind of
chatting
wandering
about-
down.
Yeah, we're talking about the aerodynamics of a toad.
You reach the kind of the base, and I assume you start to walk up towards the wolf. It's on the
Well,
outskirts.
it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be a hike. Like it's not gonna be like it's gonna be like what 10 minutes to get to it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's a walk. It's mostly downhill because if you look at the map, I'm
Oh, yeah,
gonna
the big
draw
trough.
a line. So I'm gonna shift click, give us your attention.
Ooh,
It works.
Oh.
watching.
I'm a
Yay.
genius. But like, if you see from Aspengrace to Bramble Fork to Lalastock, like this is mostly downhill. There are some like uphill bits as well, and it's all craggy. But like, this is mostly downwards towards Loch Katrine.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we're kind of going into a valley almost.
Yeah, like
So-
this Willamoot went down and then up to Aspengrace and then down because this is mostly downhill here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
sort
on
of like
a
this
little hill.
space.
So as we're walking and approaching, because this is a night, Balthazar will brandish his banner, like up ahead, like walk much like a banneret, just kind of holding it up in front of him and walking very straight and very proud.
I think Lutzen and Pip are probably walking a few paces behind, kind of very closely to each other, being not armored and soft and squishy.
Indeed.
So as you're approaching this wolf, the windmill, using that as like your guidance, and the wolf as well, you get closer and your eyes adjust as you kind of get into the shadow of maybe some houses against sort of like this. It's maybe 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so the sun is moderately high in the sky still, or maybe like 45 degrees. Like it's getting towards that lovely golden hour, and you notice the wolf is wearing a dark red sort of like cape shawl, sort of like it'd be easy for them to step into because they're a wolf. He's on all fours normally, and it's sort of like a World War II nurse's cape, if that makes sense. Like it's got like a crossover for it to
Oh.
hold onto the shoulders,
Okay.
and then the cape over the top, if that makes sense.
Wait.
So it's like a cape for a dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's like a raincoat for dogs.
So it's sort of like I'm drawing it above Balthazar. So it's got this crossover for the legs to go through, and then it's got like this sort of like popped collar thing, and then sort of like shawl.
Oh
element.
my
Has a
god.
collar?
Ah.
Oh my god.
And
This
then
is
sort of
what
like
I wanted.
around that as well, draped, he's got like a scarf, sort of shawl, like a large piece of like fabric, which seems to kind of like come down and cover some of his paws as well.
So what
he's
you're
so
telling me is
fashionable.
this is You're telling me this is a legendary Pokemon from Sword and Shield?
Oh my god.
Yes.
It's Zamazenta or Zacian.
I think
Wow.
Watson
I don't know what you
takes
just
Brendan
said,
as a
but
target
okay.
next thing.
Is
Finds-
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watson finds his Pokeball and throws it at the wolf.
Yeah. Yes. Well. Kind of seeing this.
The wolf is black and is looking intently at Aspengrace and occasionally cocking its head. It's only as you... How close do you get?
Oh, up. To speak with it.
Yeah, I think within
So
a
if you go all the way up,
a
then
reasonable
you notice
distance.
maybe 200 paces away that it's something you couldn't see just because of the flatness of it, but it has a wooden board in front of it and bags set to the side, quite large bags, bigger than you, or you could fit inside the bags. It's got a wooden board, and on that wooden board is a piece of parchment, the largest parchment you've ever seen, and its claw is without the wolf is looking at Aspengrace, but it is punching into the paper and moving slowly along as a form of
It's writing. Okay.
Oh, what is
Is
this
it
wolf
just-
doing?
Observing?
Well,
Is it just like a wolf scout?
but he's just sitting there. Maybe he's doing like a census.
And he's
Well,
Oh my god.
Balthazar's like approaching. Now that he's like right on. Actually, can we see what it says on the giant piece of parchment?
You see the dots that its claw has made before, and for us, the viewers, it looks a lot like Braille, but you can't read it because you don't understand that language.
Well, I want to get within like a distance where it can probably hear me, but I don't have to like cock up my head like super up to see it. It's like a respectful distance to talk with something much bigger or much smaller than you.
Yeah.
So because Balthazar like comes in with his banner and then he kind of like does a little flourish wave and then puts it in the ground next to him, and says, "Greetings, Lord Wolf. I can't read your parchment."
So as you walk up, you notice the wolf once. It's like, because you can't even see the other eye of its head because it's so tall. Its one eye looks at you, like gives you like a side eye, and then keeps on like writing, sitting next to this windmill, and then you stop, and it doesn't really pay attention. Then you go, "Hello, Lord Wolf," and it sort of finishes a line of this indentation, and then sort of slowly turns its head towards you, and sort of just looks with these dark, wet eyes.
Are
Hello,
you
instead of, like-
crying? Sorry.
We just mean to talk.
And it sort of it doesn't lean over, but it's just the presence of it seems to kind of tower a little bit. And
Watson's
I'm not
ears
sure
pulled
how
back.
I haven't figured out how wolves sound, so I'm just gonna go. I think it's gonna sound very
slow.
British. Very
Yeah.
British. Yes. What about?
Well, we're just passing through Aspengrace here, but it seems that the people are a little bit disturbed by your presence. It's a little bit ominous to be having a kind of wolf just sitting watching. So we're just passing by just to check what are you up to? What are you working on there?
When you say like the people are a bit perturbed, he goes, "As they should be."
Oh,
And then when you continue, you ask him like, "What is he up to?" He says, "My saga."
You're right. You're a poet.
Oh, I didn't hear Brian there. What did you say? Sorry.
My saga. And you kind of do like regal and
No. I think it just cut for a second.
Yeah, so he's working on his saga.
You're an
SGA.
artist. That explains your cape. It's very nice.
It is fantastic. It's very beautiful. But
What are you writing about?
Yes.
What's the story? Pitch it to us.
And the wolf gives you feel it in your core, a very withering look.
oh.
I don't know if Balthazar does.
Make a vibe check for me. Make a willpower check.
Make a vibe check.
I like that. Can we just replace it with vibe?
With
Officially?
Can't.
The
I want to
three
see if I can
stats.
tag anything. Can I just tag my like undaunted? Like I'm just here and I'm just like, you're a poet. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'll let you. You don't even know how much danger you're in.
Oh, can I tag my shrewd gaze to see how much?
You
No,
rolled
I
a
got
1 and a
advantage.
10.
Yeah.
You understand that the wolf is not like, oh wow, yeah, let me tell you about my book. Like you get this feeling that it is, annoyed is the wrong word, disdainful. You understand that. Maybe it doesn't shake you, but you understand that. Like, I would say that Balthazar isn't oblivious or totally oblivious. He's just very, very friend-shaped.
He is very, very friend-shaped.
Well, I think that.
And he sort of, he goes, he says, it is a saga about sacrifice. It's only the first iteration.
And is this more of a fiction or more based on, real life here?
He sort of kind of turns back and says, while it is laudable that you have remained as close to me as you have for as long as you have, I am busy.
We won't take much more of your time, but, the people of Aspengrace are just feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the grand presence of yourself just watching without really announcing why they're here.
Well, here's the just when will you be done? And also, will you eat anyone in Aspengrace?
God.
Oh God. Lots of
sort of-
shrinks.
He kind of considers the question, gives it its due thought, and he says, no, I think it would ruin the immersion to eat the subjects. And as for when will I be done, I followed the smell of the muse over mountains and through valleys to reach here. I'll be done when it's done.
Well, you can't rush artistry. That I understand. Well, if you're not intent on eating any of your subjects of this maybe inspiration or narrative, then I think that's a good enough assurance. We can let Aspengrace know that that this wolf is but an artist seeking a muse and writing down some tales about the town, perhaps.
The wolf seems to have seen you for the first time, actually sort of like look back and gone, oh, a toad. And its massive head suddenly swings down
Oh.
close to where you are, a distance, a few paces, and sort of goes, kind of really breathes in the smell of the three of you. And then
Your
lets out
nose is
a
so
long
big.
breath, which kind of pushes, like rustles your fur, and it pushes back your banner flaps in its sort of out breath. And it says, low and slow, and it's much louder. It makes your whole chest vibrate now that it's so close to you.
Oh no.
And it says, little toad, what do you know of sacrifice? This is a genuine question.
Ooh.
I think Balthazar kind of straightens up and says,
Well, I know of sacrifice as part of chivalry and loyalty. I am a knight, and many of my fellows sacrifice themselves in the boar horse. So I think I know quite a bit about it, and about losing others to a greater cause.
Those are some noble sentiments. And he sort of, he swings his head back and looks down at his manuscript in front of him, and he sort of, you see he kind of paws from underneath the cloak, because they don't have thumbs, but he can sort of like gently grip with his toes, if that makes sense. So he can't like pick up a pen. He sort of takes out a manuscript and starts to kind of dexterously flick through with a claw many other pages of long, kind of braille-like punches into the manuscript. He flicks through and he goes, I don't have an interview with a minor perspective. I think it might be interesting to record your experience of sacrifice. I think that might add to the work. You, rat, and you, flying rat, would you also know of sacrifice?
How dare he? First of all, flying rat. I think Pip would look sort of visibly affronted at the phrase "flying rat," but I think could have
Fizzing.
She's not a rat. She's a bat. You're one letter off.
They are very similar, to be fair, in how they're
My
said.
apologies. Bat and land bat.
Oh, now you're just doing that on purpose.
Sure, I'll take it. I could only aspire to be as magnificent as a bat.
Oh, that's really. Pip is sort of gratified by that. I think, but like in sort of answering the wolf, I don't think Pip would know exactly what to say. I think she'd say, "Well, I don't know as much of sacrifice as Balthazar does. As you can see," and she kind of extends her wings, "I am a flying creature, and I did lose the ability to fly, which I only got back very recently, and that was more down to an accident, but that in itself was a sort of sacrifice. I could have flown away as soon as I realized I could fly again, but I certainly didn't want to. It goes against part of my nature, I suppose, but I have good friends and I want to stay with them."
He sort of nods once slowly and says, "I shall meditate on how this will influence the manuscript. Now, leave me. I shall finish my recordings of the pauper farmers and then return tomorrow morning, and we shall interview then."
Do you not care for the perspective of an actual rat?
And he sort of looks down. He was going to go back to writing. He goes, "Oh, sorry, I mistook you as the same thing. Sure. Explain to me your viewpoint of the world, your understanding and comprehension of sacrifice."
Well, I may not know much about sacrifice, but I'm learning. I recently gave up my life's work and had it stolen away from me and taken, but these things you've got to move on from. It's a horrible thing to lose something you put so much effort into, but you still learn from what you do with it, and you take it on to the next thing. It's not the end to lose something. You move on towards the next thing.
Very well. That's all. He turns back to writing.
Pip quickly sort of runs over to the wolf. Just before we leave, if we willingly interview with you tomorrow, may we ask you questions?
How close do you get to the wolf?
I think she's pretty close. Is he still kind of leaning down towards us, like face to face, or is he kind of sitting up again?
No, he swung his head back after that kind of like first question. He's looking back. He's sitting on his back. Hang on, let me draw it.
Okay. Let me see.
Thank you, Roll20, for letting me do bad sketches all the time. So that's his head. That's his feet. So he's sitting on his back.
Oh, he's sitting on
like
on his back legs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his cape because that's cool.
I do.
And the board is in front of him. One paw is writing on the paper.
Okay. So
like this.
I think. Okay. So I imagine that Pip. I can see Ver is drawing a little tiny Balthazar. Oh, he's so small.
It's just two shapes.
I didn't mean to draw a line there, but like Pip would sort of be like here. Wings.
Oh, I think she'd be way smaller. You're a brown long-eared bat. Like
I'm little. I am really little. I suddenly realized that is way too big. Get out of here. Because if that's
I
Balthazar,
think just
then-
like a single scribble. So you get closer to the manuscript, and you seem to have crossed. You notice it. His demeanor is very calm and composed, and you seem to cross some kind of invisible line. And then suddenly there is a growl comes out of his throat, and both eyes are looking at you. And you notice that you are very close to the manuscript. And it's not a low growl, like it's a sudden like.
It's like absolutely like typical dog instinctive. You are too close, and I don't like that. Okay, I think Pip would like look down at how close she is to the manuscript. She would like put up her little hands and then back away to like a safe distance, so she can still like talk to him, but is not like too close to him. Like in an apologetic manner. She's not going to say anything. She's going to keep her eyes on him and see how he reacts.
Make a willpower check. You can try and tag something if you want to, but it's to try and like assuage that anger.
Can I tag my unassuming presence, because I am small and little and he is a huge wolf, and if he really wanted to, he could just bat me away, but it really was like I'm just a little beastie, and I got close because I wanted to talk to him, not because I was trying to like look at his manuscript or steal it.
Okay, I'd let you roll with advantage.
Yay, thank you.
Good. We just mean to talk.
Sick! Double
Nice. Oh my
Double
God.
critical successes.
Does the wolf just
That's
like combust?
good.
Boss defeated.
It when you cross back over that invisible line, the growling stops.
Oh,
And
okay.
it-
Oh, thank God.
Before you can say anything, you're making like apologetic motions, and it says, "I don't know where you've been. You're not
Oh,
clean enough
sorry.
to touch the manuscript, and let alone read it. It's not finished. As I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow."
okay. I don't think she's gonna try her luck again to ask him whether or not they can talk. So she just sort of like she meets his gaze as best she can. Obviously, she's quite far down, but like and she nods and turns around to walk away. She does
I
not
think
want
what's
to piss off
interesting for the size difference is that you look up and you can see its eye, but you can't meet its gaze, so to speak, because it would have to look at you to do that. And once you left that distance, it went back to looking at Aspengrace.
This head's like tilted further up. Okay. As we're leaving,
God.
could Lutzen just query from like as we're kind of walking, just can we just ask, do we have your words that you don't mean any harm? Or do we have your word?
It's not paying attention to you.
Oh, he's just ignoring us now. What a rude wolf.
Well, I mean, I think Balthazar will turn to Lutzen and say,
Well, he's a knight, and he said that he won't attack. So I think, well, I mean, look at that cape, an artist knight, no less. That's quite incredible.
Balthazar, I really don't know how to tell you this, but I really don't think he's a knight.
Why?
I think
He has a cape.
But you don't have a cape. Or do you have a cape?
I do.
Balthazar does have.
Oh.
Lutzen, how dare you have not noticed my cape all this time?
I'm so sorry. It just works for your presence. It's not one of those things you notice. It's just there, and it just fits so right.
I love the idea
I
that
can-
Balthazar just assumes that anyone who has a cape is a knight.
Yeah. Like, I'm
It's the
sure
qualifying
he's meant
factor.
to have a little bit more armor, but you're right. He did say we should have his word, but I don't know how much I trust him, considering he nearly took a bite out of our little friend Pip here.
I mean,
What?
"Wait, why didn't you?
He got a little-
cut out."
Oh, he nearly took a bite of our little friend Pip.
Oh. Well, he didn't. It was growling, and of course I was very worried. But then he said, "The manuscript is important, and you know how artists get about their work."
I suppose I mean, it's certainly very intimidating having him so close to Aspengrace, but he seems to be just observing or taking notes. But my question is, who is he taking notes for? To what purpose?
But for his
This is,
saga, he's writing a book.
Maybe he's just
As you
maybe he's a lone wolf.
the conversation has gone on enough that you then hear a great. I'm saying you've walked maybe again back 100, 200 paces away, a distance, but a fair, still close, and you just hear the shuffling of these great sheafs of paper. It seems to collect everything together, and then using a wooden device, rolls the manuscript into it helps him take the flat paper and then form it into a rolled bundle that then goes into a tube. That's it. Which he kind of hooks his neck through and picks up his board in his teeth and just walks off into the east.
Oh my gosh.
Away from the setting sun.
It's like a sushi roller thing. The
a
little
little
like
bit.
slats that kind of
When the boars came, they never had any kind of contraptions or beautiful cloaks. I think we were always under the impression that, when a creature gets larger, it has less of that savviness of using tools and notions of artistry and culture. But that wolf, it behaves just like a very, very big beast, not like a behemoth. It's rather strange, isn't it?
That is a very good point. I've never seen the boars that I saw. Not that I saw many of them during the war, but they were, I suppose,
somewhat
wild.
more docile, I suppose.
Well,
Not docile. No, the boars were anything but docile.
No, the wolf.
the
Sorry,
wolf.
the wolf.
Oh,
By comparison, really.
I don't know about docile, but I mean, it was very full of itself. But I suppose it can be. It's very big and very strong. But it's it's writing a saga. So that's more than one book. That's several books. That's a lot of creativity and work for a large creature like that.
Out of the bushes near the windmill, like a family of voles kind of like poke their heads out and look around and notice the wolf is gone and then run into their windmill in like a line.
Oh no, that's so sweet. Oh gosh.
Oh, their home has just been like threatened by this wolf.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a windmill if I was sitting next to a creature that was almost as large as it.
That's like Godzilla just
so
like sitting
scary.
next to your flat, just like, what's up?
Basically.
Writing a book.
Yeah, it's like he's just peering in your window and taking notes. It's like, Godzilla, please, I'm having a shower.
It's like every superhero movie ever. It's just something meets your gaze like in the flats of a like New York flat.
Oh my god. But I think one of the questions that Pip would be really wanting to ask, like the opinion of the other two, is like, but do you two not think it's a bit strange? Even if this wolf is writing a saga, to what purpose?
Well, to publish it and for other wolves to read it.
But
why does one create books?
Oh, I mean, you make a good point. But these are this is a behemoth we're talking about. This is a wolf. To my knowledge, they've only ever shown any interest in eating small creatures, not in recording them. Why would a wolf want to record the movements of its supper?
Well, I know of stories, and we don't keep many books in our log because they get damp, and that's not good for books. But I know of stories of beetles and insects and bugs, and we eat them, but they can also be very fun to tell stories about. And in these stories, they have names and they do their little things, much like we would. Only I guess we do genuinely do those things, and the wolf would eat us regardless, but maybe also wants to tell stories about it.
Maybe you're right. He didn't seem like the cheery, happy-go-lucky type, though, did he?
Well, most artists are tortured souls.
Maybe this one is a little too tortured. That's a bit real, Ver, when you're talking to like a bunch of other artists.
Too real. Too real, too soon.
Too soon. Just to break character for a second. But yeah,
he was interested in sacrifice. That's a rather dour subject, or hurtful for some. I imagine that if that's his... actually, I don't know if he was a he, but I'll just continue. If that is his interest, then I suppose that'll make a mark on your personality, at least while you're working on something, you know?
I
I
suppose.
I do wonder, like, if he was asking us about sacrifice, what has he sacrificed?
That is a very good.
Not his sense of fashion. That's for sure.
Oh, never. It's the last thing he would let go of. If I were him.
I suppose
Amazing.
that's another question though. Have you ever seen? I mean, I've not seen any wolves before, but the boar certainly didn't have any clothing.
Oh no, not at all. They
So,
were.
so
And how
where
big
does
a creature makes a cloak that large?
exactly something?
Or how many little creatures make a cloak that large?
Indeed, you know, that looked like it was made specifically for that wolf, but as we saw, he doesn't write or hold a tool the same way that we do. I don't think he has the capability to make something that fine.
Well, Pipistrelle,
Perhaps it's
do
some
you?
sort of exchange.
Hmm.
Yeah, do you remember Pipistrelle, that owl that we fought against? It said it's the protector of that ruined town that we found. What if this wolf is a protector somewhere, and the creatures that he protects are all work as seamstresses?
And tailors,
To make-
what if they make his clothes as payment?
It's certainly possible. Lots of questions.
And not very many
Maybe-
answers.
Maybe if we start writing a saga of our own till tomorrow, he will respect us as fellow artists and answer our interview questions.
I don't think we'll be able to write a saga by the morning, Balthazar.
Challenge accepted.
Not with an attitude like that, you won't, Pip.
Oh dear.
Hmm.
Actually, hang on.
So what do you do now?
Yeah, so we.
Well, let's go tell Leon,
Hmm.
the dubious news. I don't know if I'd call it good or bad, but the news
The news.
of why this creature's here, and see what he makes of it.
I think so. I think it's probably go and tell.
I still wish there was that sign that the wolf had that none of us could read because the writing was incomprehensible. I wonder if it said anything or explained, such as, "I'm just writing a book, please don't be alarmed."
Please don't be alarmed.
But he never, I told him I can't read it and he didn't even address that. So maybe he didn't hear, he's very high up.
It's not very chivalrous of him.
Indeed, I will have to bring it up with him tomorrow.
Balthazar, I would advise you maybe not to do that.
Well, at night to our night, we can speak freely.
Puts her head into her hands.
I think Lutzen will just kind of pat Pip on the shoulder. Oh my god, that's a tongue twister. He's like, let him have it. We'll get through eventually. I do wonder though, the only concern is, even with the news, I don't feel particularly rested that this wolf doesn't mean any harm. I think his presence is rather looming to the people of...
Well, if he
Aspengrace.
wanted to do something, he had 2 weeks to be a menace. Any boar would have razed this city handily the moment it laid its eyes on it.
This is true,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not entirely sure that they're going to take our word that he doesn't mean anything. He's just watching. You know, I don't think it's going to settle
Well-
the nerves.
Well, he said, I'm watching, and when I asked, when will you be done, and will you eat anyone? He said it'll be done when it's done, and I won't, that it would be in bad taste to eat anyone, the subjects of his book. So, he's
This
an
is true.
artist.
We can
He's
try
an
and
artist
convince
and
them.
a knight. These are 2 things one can trust.
We can only do our best in trying to convince them that he means no harm.
What do you have you thought what we might say to him tomorrow if he's going to interview us?
Depends what he asks, really.
Well, he wants to know about sacrifice. So, I think that's straightforward, isn't it?
I suppose. But I suppose I know he's supposed to be interviewing us, but I almost want to interview him.
Well, that's what I'm
Well, maybe
saying.
we
We
could,
have to start
an
our own
exchange.
saga.
In exchange for our interview, he answers questions of ours. Take a turnabout.
It's not a bad idea. Do you think he'd? I mean, if we can get him to agree to that,
This is true.
what could we offer a behemoth aside from our information?
Well, if I may be so bold, if you'd like to infer some information, you can kind of do it as a conversation. If you're telling this beast about sacrifice, for example, or about flying, you can say, "Well, you know what it's like to fly," and the wolf will say, "No," and then you know, oh, it does not fly.
Well, perhaps
Very
we could
astute.
offer a closer view of what he's trying to study. You know, perhaps we could strike a deal with him that he could protect Aspengrace instead, and he could get a better understanding of the people.
But he's an artist.
inform
It's such a difficult living. He can't do another job.
But to inform his to inform his novel or his saga, you know, if he's there, if he's closer, and the people know the agreement, they tell their stories to him. You know, perhaps that's what he wants. You know, he wants information. He wants stories.
But wouldn't he approach the maybe that's what the board says. Come to me if you have stories to tell about sacrifice, but nobody can read it.
The board,
Fatal
I'm
flaw
going
in
to
his
clarify.
plan.
I mean, this might just be Balthazar being Balthazar, and we love it. But the
No,
board
it's
didn't say
probably me.
anything. The board was what he was writing on.
Oh, I thought it's
Like a
like
desk.
like a sign. Oh, I thought there's
No,
a
no.
sign next to him.
No.
There's a
The
sign there,
board,
isn't
he's
it?
writing on it so he can punch through with his claws to
Oh, okay,
write on the
sorry.
paper.
Make the braille
That
marks.
was me. I had genuinely misunderstood that there is a sign next to him that says something.
I
So
still
I
like
feel
the
like
picture
maybe-
if there's a
Maybe
sign hanging
Balthazar
around
could have
his
mistook
neck.
it for a sign because it's covered in these dots, and he's like, it must have said something, and it's just like ink stains.
Well,
or the
it
equivalent of.
says something, but it's just something in the language he doesn't read.
Yeah.
It says you can't see me. I'm not here. You can't see me.
Do not perceive me.
I'm like a shadow. I'm like a shadow in the night.
Do not.
Cannot be seen.
I have many
So-
questions about this wolf. This is so
Yeah.
this is so weird.
This is very strange.
In the
What
best
are
way,
you
though.
up to now?
Well, find Leon.
Yeah, we
Tell
don't
him.
find Leon DeGrasse.
So you go back up the way you came. So you go back uphill and you go up the spiral staircase, and you actually pass the same guards that you did before. They've done a rotation, so now they're on the sunny side of Aspengrace. No, it's not. It's the shady side of Aspengrace because this is more of like the westerly exit. No, the east exit, and it is afternoon going to night, so the sun is in the west. Anyway, yes, hello, Brian knows things. You walk through the shade of Aspengrace, and you pass the guards who have rotated, and they give you a little nod, and one of them nervously asks as you're passing by, he goes, did you really go speak to that wolf?
Yes.
We did.
He was actually surprisingly nicer than you'd expect for a wolf.
But he wasn't exactly nice. But
Well,
he
not
was,
nice, but
he-
he didn't eat us. It's always a bonus.
Well, he's a nice.
And
Nice don't
when you
eat
say
us.
he didn't eat us, he looks disappointed, and you don't understand for a second until the other hedgehog goes, ah, and he punches him, and he goes, God, Zulu, you owe me.
Were you betting
And
on
the
our
other
lives?
starts fishing on. He gets like in a pouch. He takes out. No, what would you bet if you were a hedgehog?
Green. Oh, maybe.
Actually, we'd probably bet something like if you're
beetle
talking about
shells or
something,
something.
something really
worm.
delicious, like worms. Yeah, honestly, like worms.
He takes out like a wiggly, juicy worm that he's kept in like a fabric, and he passes it over, and the other hedgehog goes and slurps it down. I'm
so
saving it
gross.
for after my shift.
Oh.
Well, like, you bet on that thing eating us. That's hardly nice to just be betting on other people's misfortune.
We're not upset.
Oh.
We're just disappointed.
No, don't
No,
worry.
I'm
It wasn't the
upset.
eating you. It was just if you'd go to actually see the wolf, because you're very brave. I wouldn't. And he kind of licks his lips of the slimy worm.
Ugh.
Well, all right. Well, this I can accept. That worm did look delicious. Well done, my fellow.
He pats his belly and looks very happy. And there's like a clink clink as he pats the chainmail over his belly.
Aw.
Oh.
But you managed to get your way up to Liedergrass, who seems to be shutting up shop now. It's maybe like 5, 6 in the afternoon. And Liedergrass looks and goes, "Ah, my friends, I saw that you went over to the wolf, and it is gone. Have you vanquished it? Is it going to come back? Please say it's not coming back."
It will be coming back. But we found out. Well, you can't see all the way from here that it has a cape and a scarf. Can you imagine that? But in any case,
No, I would say more of a nightmare than a dream to imagine.
well,
do
in
go
any
on.
case, it is a writer that is creating a saga, and it is looking at this town as some manner of inspiration. It's observing people and writing. And I asked if it would eat anybody, and it said no, because that wouldn't be in good taste for the creative process of this book. But it doesn't know when it will be done, which I understand because art takes time, and you never quite know when you'll be finished with a piece.
And the
Does
hair
that
looks a little
satisfy you?
perturbed. And you say, "Does that satisfy you?" And the hair goes, "No, it does not satisfy me. We agreed you to get rid of the wolf, and he's gonna come back, and that is not a good feeling."
We agreed to speak with the wolf, not get rid of it.
We had a basket arranged. You said you would speak with the wolf and get him to leave.
Well, maybe tomorrow then. We have an interview with the wolf.
Well, okay then. And he sort of pats his stomach, and he actually burps. And he goes, I feel very, very anxious.
Oh.
Can Pipistrelle give him some of the mint that we were given by the hedgehog and say, "Here, chew this. It might it might help."
He goes, "Oof, no, that would give me heartburn. I will be here tomorrow, and I will see you then." He sort of grabs an armful of like ledger and pencil and bits and bobs and some carrot ends that he's been chewing on, and
Aw.
sort of flops off to the other side of the market. Yeah.
So we did not please this hare.
Well,
Whoops.
Well, the wolf, wasn't willing to go, and once again, he has to finish his saga. I understand. You can't really rush such things.
No, but I mean, I suppose how are we supposed to make a creature of that size understand that its presence is causing a certain amount of discomfort to every other
Well-
creature in Aspengrace?
The wolf knows. When you said, you're scaring people," it said, "Good. It's good that people are scared."
What is it doing though? Pip is
Well,
like,
it's writing.
no, but like, Pip kind of just gives Balthazar this slightly withering look.
Well, that's exactly how the wolf looked at us.
Pipistrelle, you're being especially suspicious. I'd like you to
I
make
am-
a cunning check to be aware of your surroundings. I just feel like that's something that Pipistrelle would do.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's a 10 on my screen.
Yeah, it's like leaning right between them for me as well.
Pip, can you not tag any of your like super sus begears?
I could. I mean,
I'm letting this happen because Pipistrelle is suspicious. So
yeah, it's sort of because it's
It's like a
Yeah.
passive thing.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say complication 2. You think you saw the market is empty right now, and you look and you kind of dart your head around because you have this sensation that you're being watched, but shrug it
I
off.
don't
You can't
like
see
that.
anyone.
Oh no! Oh, Brian, no, I don't like that.
What
The
is
only
it?
people at the market, actually, the market is empty. The only people in the market, there are 2 hares at the Seed Sprout Bank stall, and they are guarding the grain that has been loaded into crates and locked for the night.
God. Okay.
But they're not really
I'm-
paying attention. I'm going to say they're like maybe 20 paces away and they're not really paying attention to you. They're playing
Lutzon's
cards.
gonna kind of
Oh God.
ponder over. Lutzon's gonna wander over to them
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of query, Hello there. We were just back from talking to the wolf over there. You know, I'm sure you know the one that's been watching Aspengrace here. But you know, what's your take on it? You know, what's going on around here? You know.
So, one is older and one is younger, and the younger one says, go fish," and the older one says, "Ugh, damn," and then starts scrabbling at some of the cards, and then kind of turns his shoulder over, or his head over his shoulder, and goes, "Yeah, what did you want?"
Everyone in this town is super sus.
Wait, I didn't hear what they said. Did they just get a tisk at me?
He said, "What do you want?"
Oh, sorry. You know, we're just curious. Like, what's the take on this wolf? You know, how long's it been here? You know, has anyone else tried to talk to it? You know, we were talking to Leon over there, but he said no one's really gone near it. But the wolf just seems to be sitting there watching and writing.
Yeah, writing? Ugh, that is strange. Ugh, beats me. I have not been watching or writing about it. I do nights here at the market and sleep during the day. Don't have time to worry about wolves. And the younger one pipes up and says, "Well, you really should be, because it's been here, I don't know, about a week or two? Honestly, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. There's wolves back in over the sea where we're from, or where my pa's from, and I've never seen one, but it makes me feel all weird looking at it."
Is it quite usual for there to be any other sort of danger at night, or you know, is this the only other danger that's really passed through Aspengrace recently? Obviously, except for the boars, but
Well, you got grain bandits. That's why we're here. But I mean, Aspengrace is pretty quiet. I'm pretty glad we're here. And the older hare goes, "Tsk. Hey, close your maw. Why are you asking us these questions?"
just something doesn't sit quite right. You know, something doesn't feel right. I don't know. Just thought I'd just get another perspective of, you know, someone who's just around, keeps an eye out. You know, you guys must be very vigilant being, you know, guards, and surely you've seen some sort of suspicious stuff around here.
Make a willpower check to try and get on their good side. You're trying to be personal and chatty.
Yeah. You know, would have thought that someone with your expertise would notice if there's something else gone awry.
Okay. I feel like you are able to echo some of the sort of professional chat that some of the other craft pool members are able to turn on when speaking to other guilds. And so you kind of turn on that sort of professional, "Oh, you must be very, very good at your job, and could you show me the specifications of the blah, blah, blah." Mm-hmm. And that seems to kind of lower the guard of the guards. The older hare puts his cards down and turns around and says, "Well, you're with Leo de Grance, then I suppose it's all right. No, Aspengrace is very quiet as it goes. It's mostly farming grain and sending it on. In terms of stocks, I don't think there is too much here. If you were to go further south, maybe to Redwall or Wolfneck, or maybe onto the trading routes, you know, Pansworth and further on. They have larger stocks of grain, but that's because there are merchants coming through. I do not know."
And you mentioned grain bandits. You know, is this quite frequent?
Not here. That's why there's only 2 of us. And to be honest, we should not have this much grain anyway. It's because the birds are not coming through to pick it up.
And the birds aren't coming through because of the wolf.
Well, I think they're just scared. Normally we have a cart or 2 come through from Lala's dock or, you know, beyond, you know, shifting things here and there. But since the wolf showed up, they've not been coming through. It's not the worst of things. Plus, I get double pay.
You know,
Because
not
of
too
the-
bad.
Because of the wolf.
And the younger one looks a little irked. I don't think he's getting double pay.
No.
Oh.
You know, you shouldn't discriminate against age, but you know.
bad workplace.
Curious. Well,
environment.
thanks for your time anyway.
There's something real weird going on in this town.
Yeah, I can't tell. Conspiracy brain is going.
I don't know.
I need some like a wall and some red thread to go
Yeah, honestly.
Charlie Day this shit.
Shall we find a place to stay the night and collect our thoughts about all this?
Yeah, I think that's wise. I think I'm maybe just getting a bit tired.
That is probably a very good idea.
Because, to be perfectly honest, the wolf, it has some vested interest in this place and observing. It said it won't eat people, and it doesn't seem to be a danger. It just seems to be an artist and a knight. And are we beholden to really chase it away? It's not really doing anything.
But I think in it not doing anything, it's scaring away business. It's slowed the town right down. You know, the people are scared. They're not feeling quite themselves. The birds aren't coming to deliver the grains.
Well, but it is.
It's essentially harmless, but it's people aren't comfortable with it.
But how do you... Maybe if I had a whole knot of knights and some mud furies and sting slingers, we could drive it away. But the three of us, well, we can't wage a war on this thing. And it's a behemoth. It has its own reasoning and own train of thought that I don't think we understand. I'm not sure if it's in our power to really do much here. And I don't mean to be defeatist, but simply in some way practical. It's not really a problem, beyond how much of a problem the people here make of it.
I suppose...
You're right.
I suppose if we find out tomorrow why this wolf is observing Aspengrace, maybe at the very least we could then take that knowledge back to...
No, well, it told us. It's...
You're interrupted by the larger hare going, there it goes, and placing down a hand of cards, and the young one going, and picking them up. They're playing their game. They're not paying attention to you anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly thought that we're on our way to find a place now.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay, cool. I just thought like it would be a nice background noise.
Yeah, sorry though.
No,
I
cute.
just
No, I
imagine
like that.
we're going around to find a place to stay now.
Yeah, I think with that, like you kind of wander away and start to find this place. You were going to say, Balthazar.
I don't remember.
I was going to say something, and then I heard those two hares, and I forgot what I was going to say. But I suppose, just bottom line is, oh yes, that the wolf told us why it's looking at Aspengrace. I think it called the people of Aspengrace its subjects. Like you would have a subject of a piece of writing or a drawing. I think it's just writing about Aspengrace and its denizens. It's writing a Tales of Aspengrace saga.
I would like to believe that with Balthazar. There's just something about the presence of it. It's just so odd.
I agree.
Is it the cape?
Well, Balthy, there is something in that. How often have you seen a wolf or any behemoth wearing any kind of clothing?
That is the first wolf I've ever seen, and it is wearing a cape. And I've not seen boars wear capes. They're much more wild and feral and not very willing to speak. I don't even know if they can speak. I've never heard them say anything.
Do we think that perhaps we maybe should have followed the wolf? See where it went back to? Because where's it gone? It's just left. It must live nearby, or there's someone nicer place to settle down.
If it's coming back every day, then it must be nearby.
And, I mean, It's very big. It can travel very far, probably, but my concern is that while it won't do anything to the subjects of its book, but I can't imagine how much a beast like that has to eat.
Oh, that is a very scary thought, actually.
Well, it's...
Do we know... I suppose we could always do this the next day of, like, kind of ask before the interview, kind of asking around if there's any other, like, settlements nearby, or like smaller, groupings of houses, or.
Wait, I didn't.
Did it go west or east?
East towards Brambledam, if that helps you kind of
Oh, okay,
orientate
east.
yourself.
Okay,
Not
okay.
to
I thought
Brambledam,
it
but,
goes
like,
west
yeah.
because that's like Fangwatch. Never mind. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I presume it retires somewhere for the night, maybe. But, I mean, if we're curious,
And he looks over at Pip.
you are fine at flying. Perhaps if you're able to flit between one tree and another and rest up that wing of yours. And you are good at spotting things in the dark.
Ooh, am I allowed to go out on like a spy
Yes.
mission to find
You
this
could
wolf?
go on a spy mission.
I think that might be. It's got to be nearby. If it keeps coming by every single day, that wolf is far too. He's not going to be walking for miles,
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how
I would
far
imagine.
a wolf can travel, but
But it would be a huge inconvenience to have to travel so far every day.
indeed, it must.
And I am just thinking that if you'd be able to flutter from tree to tree, and trees making good shelter for such big creatures, even if you came up enough to see it, and even if it were to see you, you'd still be safe. If we were on the ground, well, it was already mad about approaching its manuscript. I imagine if it were angry about us and... some of these beer moths are very territorial in ways that us little beasts aren't. It might get very angry if we come around to its place of rest, but you being able to fly up high and stay at a safe distance, I don't think wolves can climb very well. Not trees, at least. Maybe you'd be at a safe distance too. If not, you see it and hopefully not pester it, but at the very least suss out a little bit about what it is doing. Maybe it meets other people in secret, or maybe it's having a nice dinner of bugs, and we can say for certain, well, at least it doesn't like eating things that are made of meat.
I think Pip is sort of thinking over this idea, and like she's sort of furling and unfurling her wing, kind of absent-mindedly, kind of sort of not thinking about it. And like, we all know what she wants to do. She is super intrigued as to why there is a wolf nearby, and why it is not like, firstly, why it's not trying to eat any of the hares that are in the village, which would be a pretty decent meal for a wolf of that size. And why is it writing, and why does it have a cape?
Well, because it's a knight. We've already unraveled that.
But like,
I think I'm going to tag your floor, Pipistrelle.
oh no!
I'm going to tag your floor, Nosy. I think also you've got your job overly suspicious. You can't resist. You have to go fly after this thing. Unless you give me a good reason why you wouldn't, that would override these feelings. Your character motivation is to go fly in the night to find out what this wolf is about.
I mean, she is a night flyer. She is kind of in her element, even if there are like
all of this, the logic that Pipistrelle is thinking. Well, tell me if I'm overstepping, but like all of this scans in Pipistrelle's head.
Oh, it really does. Like I can't even pretend otherwise. She is a nosy little so-and-so, and she 100% will be getting herself into trouble. But actually, I think she'd almost be more comfortable following this thing at night, because I know that obviously, like, it's a wolf; it'll have decent night vision. But she is a bat.
You're tiny.
I'm tiny.
I feel a wolf would be able to see a bat flying around as a human can, and we can only really see them when they fly within like light sources, because suddenly they're reflecting light. Like, you see a little body up in the air.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
or you see a silhouette against the sky.
Or more so, yeah.
It would misclock that it's specifically you, and there's probably other wildlife fluttering about.
It thought you were a rat. It probably wouldn't even if you were like, oh, hello, and it saw you, you'd come back tomorrow, and it's just like, well, I saw the damnedest rat in a tree. Hello, new person.
I saw the damnedest rat in a tree.
I do apologize for swearing.
No, I want Balthazar to swear all the time. I catch.
No, he would never say fuck.
No, he wouldn't. He's a soft boy. We had to.
He goes
think up
frump.
some fun.
I tried.
Frup.
We have to think up some fun toad swears. But yeah, no, I cannot think of any reasons why Pip would not actually be like, yeah, this is a really good idea.
Imagine she's like got a little eye twitch. You know, she's kind of like rearing to go.
Yes.
But Pip, I understand well, I mean, I kind of brought it up and I'm really regretting it right now, but please promise me that if you will be setting out, and it looks like you will because you're all twitchy, please promise me you will not get anywhere near this thing. You will stay up in the trees and rest as much as you need, and don't push yourself too badly for this. Because at the end of the day, while this mystery is alluring, it might not be a mystery that needs to be solved.
Oh, I think sort of Pip would kind of like stop twitching a little bit, and she'd sort of put her, funny giant bat hands on Balthazar's shoulders and says that for you, my dear friend, I will stay as safe as I can, because I have no intention of leaving you. And she kind of like goes over and like she can't reach Ludson's shoulders per se, but she can like touch his arms. So she like puts her hands on his arms. It's like, I have no intention of leaving either of my dear friends. I cannot get this idea out of my head that there is something funny going on with this wolf. There's just something that doesn't quite add up to me.
I think Lutsen will also put a kind of paw on Pip's shoulder and kind of support, like, please just be safe. I know you are going to go. There's no question about it. I can see you, your little foot's twitching in the corner there. But, like, just be safe. Because that wolf is nasty. I don't get a good vibe.
No, neither do I.
If anything, invoke his knightly honor. It is both a strength and a weakness. I know this myself.
Can you parlay with a wolf?
On this point, I will say we're going to end today's session. We're going to fast forward a little bit. We're going to say you find shelter, and we're going to start next session with Pipistrelle's night flight, unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
No, yes.
No, I love it.
Because I would like to do the night flight now, but I'm aware we're 2.5 hours in.
Yes.
Everyone wants some lunch, some food. I think it's going to be exciting to start the night flight. You guys haven't even scratched the surface. This is so exciting.
Oh my god, Brian, you can't do that to us.
I'm just gonna be thinking about why is this wolf so sus for the rest of the week?
I've got a full conspiracy forming in my head. Full conspiracy, which we need to talk about.
For once, I'm actually like, because I'm curious to see if Pip will discover anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this wolf is legit. He's just an artist. Maybe the other wolves are more feral than him, and he's like, nobody here understands my art. I must go to the south, and there my genius will metastasize, and I'll bring back the saga, and everyone will see.
See, what I think is really, like, I want to believe that this wolf is genuinely he's just an artist, and he's just here on artistic business. But, like, why? Aloof. Why? To what?
Because wolves want... Are you telling me that wolves can't write a book?
No! Oh, God.
Do you not believe in wolves? They can do whatever they put their minds to.
I do believe in wolves. What I also believe in is in this sort of, if you'll excuse the phrase, dog eat dog world. Like, what is this wolf doing? Where he's watching a town of small animals. He seems to be wearing some kind of clothing that is not typical for beasts of his size. He is aloof and unfriendly, but is also not. He's not trampling the town like a boar would. He's not going through and like picking out hares one by one. He's just here and watching and observing, and that's really weird to me.
Yeah, it's
he's writing a book. He's writing a book.
On these scattered views, these opposing suspicions, I think we're going to start wrapping up. So, for next session, I think you guys have done enough to earn each of you a new skill.
Yay!
So think about something and add it to a new prospective job. Let's go back over and see how that works. You add skills to your building character sheet area. I have the skills somewhere. Character sheet. Let's look at Greer's character sheet. Da, 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 da,
Career.
da. So you're up in your character sheet. In the training section, there is a new place called Desired Job. You list 3 skills as you start to think of them. And then once you have obtained 3 skills, you add a trait and a flaw, and that becomes a new job for you.
Interesting.
So think about a new skill that you have learned in a job you are training for. It doesn't. You can change the skills at any time, but you haven't got these skills until you have the full filled out job. But just this is an example. Like you're a third of the way to a new job.
Interesting. What new job would he have?
So you can think of that, and then next session we will check in.
Okay.
Before we do our outroductions, not intro, but outroductions, well, let's have a quick look at the cool little interactive map of Bristley Woods you can look at. It's really cool. You can zoom in, you can scroll around, you can look at Bramble Fork and Aspengrace and all the places our people have been, and some of the places they have not. The farthest corner lies the marble city of Summit. There are other toad logs in the world. There are Chime Log, and then there's Stump of the Valley, and there's the Bramble Log, or Blackberry Log, all sorts of places to explore. There's even the far reaches of Spoon Keep, all sorts of cool places in the Bristley Woods, yet to be explored. There is also the Vice and Virtue Kickstarter. Please back it, because the more money means the more cool things. At £2,000, I am hoping to gild all of the cards so that they have gold foil on them, which is really shiny for the theme deck that we use. So it's very cool and pretty. And the more backers, the more community copies are out there for people who are disadvantaged and cannot buy it, and so can get it for free as a little hello, please play games and have a nice life.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Yes. All good. All helpful.
So on that lovely note, let's reintroduce ourselves and outroduce the show. I have, and I am Brian. It's really catchy. It's really catchy.
Oh no, you can use it. You can use it. Maybe I'll just think of a new catchphrase.
Sorry, it's just so cool. You're a
Balthazar.
trendsetter.
Balthazar inflates in anger.
I'm an influencer.
Yeah.
This podcast by
What's hair?
I will be Brian Tyrrell. Right now, I am a slug. My name is Brian. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and everywhere else at Dungeons on a Dime. I run Dungeons on a Dime, the entry-level tabletop role-playing game publisher. We do all sorts of cool stuff like the Bristley Woods and the Adventures on a Dime and the quests in the Red and all sorts of cool stuff. Oh, also, shout out that I completely forgot about. My book is available in all stores from the 19th of November.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
So exciting.
Every
Yeah,
single
and the Red will
store.
be in like Waterstones and available, and you can get it on Amazon
No, it
and
will
other
not.
places. Yeah,
Get
you
out
can
of here.
buy it. It's
That's awesome.
available in America and I think Australia from the 15th because they got the books earlier than the UK.
That's sick.
That's
Make it make sense.
fantastic.
That's so cool. Oh my god, my art
I
is in
forgot that was
America?
happening.
We all
That's
have art
scary.
in that book as
We all
as
have
well,
art in
which
that
is awesome.
book.
We all have art
Yes.
in that book.
Yes.
Exciting.
Garland
Very cool.
Waterstones.
That's incredible.
Well done,
Go.
Brian.
Amazing.
Go
Yeah.
Team Familiars.
We're so proud of
So
you.
a circle of claps for everybody.
Exactly, round of applause.
I shall pass on to. I'm going to shake the order up to keep it spontaneous and fruity.
Oh, no.
Fraser.
Oh my gosh. Hello. Thank you for listening. I am just a funny monkey, Fraser.
Oh.
I go by he, him pronouns. I am an illustrator and creative person of sorts. I do kind of character designs and things like that. You can find me on Instagram at _lostastronaut and Twitter at _lostastronaut. Most recent thing to shout out, I guess, would be the minis that me and Brian worked on for Dungeons on a Dime or Adventures on a Dime, both combination, for the Patreon, and they're also available on the Roll20 marketplace. Yeah, I think that's me.
Okay. And then we will have Atlanta.
Hello. I am a pine cone covered in peanut butter with which you feed birds, and also known as Atlanta.
Wow.
Wow, that's a good one.
I'm getting real specific now.
Very awesome.
How?
I love it,
Okay,
I
no,
love
no,
it.
no, no, no. Hold up. If a bird eats peanut butter, will not their mouth go like?
You
What
can
happens?
buy very special peanut butter specifically for birds. And that 100% is a real thing, and you can buy it in garden centers. I promise. My mum buys it.
That is incredible.
Brian, you're and shot down.
I know, right?
I'm
sorry,
I'm
ruined
adding
my
this to
own
the
outro.
world. Birds
That's
eat
amazing.
like various nut butters. They've got there's like an oat butter and there's an acorn butter. You can eat acorns. Humans can
Yeah.
eat acorns.
Yumma yumma.
Wow.
Exactly.
Please
But in
continue
any
with your
case-
wonderful information. Atlanta
But
fact
any-
of the week.
Atlanta fact of the week: you can buy peanut butter for birds, of which I am some apparently because this is how I do my outros. You will find me on the internet at Alpaca Scribbles on Twitter, at Alpaca_Scribbles on Instagram. You can find me on Patreon at the same name, at Alpaca Scribbles. Nothing really to plug, but I kind of am around and lurking on the internet. I'm kind of, I have time and things at the moment, so if you are, at all interested in commissions, please message me on whatever I can happily give you some more information. Hey, maybe ask me if you want me to draw you as a tiny beast in the Beast Fables world. I'd love
Please
to do that.
commission
Yes.
Atlanta. Please commission Atlanta. I have a picture that Atlanta drew for me of my character from our previous game, the Night of Sorrows, and it's still my desktop background all this time because I love it so much.
Oh, Ver, that's so sweet. Oh my god. But yeah, thank you guys for playing with me again. Thank you for listening, all lovely people who listen. Brian, thank you for hosting. I love this game. It's great. It makes
It was a
me
good
happy.
game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game. And last, but not least, actually, you are the smallest. Last and least, Balthazar, played by Ver.
Oh,
Are
Balthazar
you?
is small. Okay, I'm just like, wait, am I
Am I?
the shortest
Are you?
person here? I don't know. Well, I know that Atlanta and Brian are taller than me, but I haven't met Fraser in real life yet, so I don't
never
know
know.
if I am indeed shorter than Fraser.
Am I a
In any
beast?
case-
Am I a
Earl.
behemoth?
Indeed. In any case, I have been Ver. You can find me on social media, Verface at Twitter, Verface at Patreon. You can also find me on Tumblr under Sticks and Sharks. I have a little bit of a plugin that I am part of the Thought Bubble Digital Comic-Con. That's technically happening on the 14th, 15th of November. There's just going to be some panels and stuff, but more importantly, from their site, they're promoting artists and showing off their stores. If you would like to pick up one of my prints, I would have also said originals, but I've sold out of all of my ink originals. But if you'd like to pick up some prints, you can go on over to verface.bigcartel.com and peruse and see if there's anything that you'd like. And by buying, you support me directly because I had to invest into some prints and run a business, and maybe I'll get a profit from it. So think about it.
Please
you-
distribute your coins unto fine artists.
Yes.
Give over your slugs.
Yes, give me all your slugs and worms. Delicious, delicious worms. But yeah, thank you very much to my fellow players. You guys are so delightful. Thank you for letting Balthazar just talk weird things today. And Brian, thank you for making this game. It's always so fun, and I can't wait. And I'm also terrified for that night excursion of Pip next week.
Yeah.
I know. I forgot to thank everyone as well. Thank you, everyone. And Brian, and everyone specifically.
And thank
I knew
you
there
to
was
the lovely
missing
players.
something.
Everyone is loved and appreciated. Big news, I've drawn a slug.
Ah!
I'm only here
Where?
for slug vibes.
Oh, that is a very sluggy
Oh
slug.
wow!
Oh.
Wow!
He's a slug. I love him.
And on that note, have a lovely day, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
Oh, I drawn it, Balthazar. No, bye.